No.
Okay, and if you all could come back here and sign in and pay and get your ticket for 2 days, if you want to do it for 2 days or 1 day.
I guess we weren't ready.
Yeah, I need to wait until more people are at their seats. I'm sorry. Well, because the data that I'm going to give you is going to cause some of your brains to go on lockdown. So I'm going to need to give you an opportunity to stretch and breathe. The first order of business today is to go over how to use a dictionary, because most of us were not taught in school how to properly utilize a dictionary. Once you understand that we are speaking English, which is not our language, it never was, which is a spell and a curse, and I wrote a news article in the Al-Moroccan Star. I understand that the sister is going to give those out as donations one day. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow. But, the brothers say today. Those of you that are here today, they're going to give you a copy of an article that I wrote in the Al-Moroccan Star newspaper to expose what English is and what it has done. But once you get done with today's lecture, you will have a lot of clarity on some of the problems with English. The first thing you need to know, however, when you're utilizing a dictionary is how to read the tool. Hopefully, you were told that the regular dictionary that you received or picked up for this class should have brackets in the dictionary definitions. They look like these, open boxes. If your dictionary does not have brackets, you don't have anything that will do you any good today. So look and see if your dictionary has brackets. In some dictionaries, they're immediately behind the word. Let's say the word is bad. It'll have this, and then it'll start out with an open bracket. It'll have a few things inside, which our minds have gone on lockdown and tend to see and not see those. You overlook them. In other dictionaries, it's almost the very last thing after maybe the 20th definition down the page. Way at the bottom somewhere, you'll find the brackets. Is there anyone that does not see them yet and needs me to come and show you where they are? This is slang dictionary, which is better than nothing. This is slang dictionary.
We don't have to get the word.
Excellent. Is your hand up? Looks like it was going up. Your hand is up. Your hand is up. You have to know what the signs inside of the bracket mean. Otherwise, you're going to just be in brackets, looking at brackets, and have no clue what you're looking at. Anytime you see the letter E period, G period, that means for example. Anytime you see the lettering I period, E period, that means that means. Whenever you see this equals for example.
Okay.
I period, E period equals that means. Or by that we mean. Or that is to say. Anytime you see C period, F period, that means compared to. I'm blocking the view over here. Okay. Anytime you see a little c in front of a number like 1170, that letter means it's somewhere around about 1170. So little c means somewhere in the vicinity of.
Like circa?
Circa. It is circa,
same thing.
but it means somewhere around about.
That's, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. Okay? So somebody says, well, I think the movie came out in circa 1980. Somewhere around 1980. Could have been 79, could have been 81, could have been 82, somewhere in the 80s. Okay? Not exactly, not specifically, but somewhere thereby. Can I erase these? Because I need to add some different things. I see people still, let me just keep writing, because some people are still writing. Anytime you see O-H-G, that means Old High German.
Okay.
Anytime you see M-F, that means Middle French. Anytime you see L, that means Latin. LL means lowered Latin. VL means vulgarized Latin. A plain G means German. And let me know if I'm going too fast. And don't forget, this is being recorded. VL means vulgarized Latin.
LL.
Lowered Latin is what LL means. MF is Middle French. OE is Old English. It's very important that you guys know what this stuff means, because today I'm going to show you some stuff, and this is how you are going to learn how to really look a word up. If you don't know how to do this, you've never looked a word up. Is your hand up, sir? Okay. Look like this for a second.
Yes.
Yes, sir. The G means German.
Old Latin.
O means old. So OL would be Old Latin. NL would mean New Latin.
Is there a specific dictionary that you're looking for?
The oldest dictionary you could find that had brackets in it.
Bracket.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know about the brackets.
And I did give that information. I'm not sure what, how you were giving it.
And I did put it on the flyer too.
That it needed to have brackets in it? You put that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Yes, sir. Excuse me. OHG means Old High German. Even though a lot of people are talking, I have a very big mouth. I have a voice that carries across the room, even without a mic. You should be able to hear me when I start talking. I can usually talk over everyone else.
Did
Yes.
you say, Old Latin?
VL means vulgarized. Vulgar.
Oh, okay.
Vulgar. Vulgarized Latin. Because Latin, even though it was not our original language, and when I say our, I mean melanated people, it originally was our language. Originally it belonged to us. Europeans lowered it and vulgarized it. So don't let anybody tell you about Ebonics and how you're messing up the King's English. It came from you. You mess it up whenever you feel like it. You do what you want to do with the language because you started all of it. Yes. LL means lowered Latin. I need to give you guys this one too. GK means Greek. And I'm going to add one more. Now at this point you should kind of be able to start figuring some of these out on your own. But squeeze it in here. S-A-N-S means Sanskrit. So what do you think JAP means? All right, so we all on the same page. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, what does am.e mean?
Am.e. Did I write that?
No, I was asking because I see some.
It's capital
It's
A.
probably American English.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what
yes,
it is?
capital
Yeah,
A,
okay.
small
I
m.
was just trying to.
American English. Okay, now that we're all on the same page, we're going to move on forward. Is it possible for me to erase this at this point? I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, that's it.
Black market, you have a lamb.
Do we have a black sweetie?
I'll try to find one.
I guess it'll make it a little easier for people to,
What's the SANS?
SANS means Sanskrit. Sanskrit. Hindustani Sanskrit.
Is there abbreviation for Arabic?
Arabic is AR. AR.
Dictionaries usually list what their symbols are if you're really using your tool.
Well, that's true, but how many people have used these tools? How many people even taught about the tools? Most of our people went to school. If the teacher asked you to, okay, here's 20 spelling words, I want you to write sentences, we were so busy trying to hurry up and finish, we just looked at the first definition, wrote a sentence, went to the next word, first definition, wrote a sentence. We never read it, listen to me. We never read more than we needed to read, thank you, sweetie, to just make sure we understood enough to write a sentence. And that's really all we were taught. But that's not how they teach their children. See, their children were taught what we're learning today. And I'm in my 40s, and I think I was in my 40s when I learned it. Is it okay to erase this? Anyone have any objection? Oops. Okay, my pouch is bumping into this as well as my feet, so let me take my pouch off so I don't knock the whole board over. All right, one of the things that we need to know about English is that it is an equivocal language. I would like for you all to turn in your dictionaries to the word equivocal. E-Q-U-I-O, nope, my bad. E-Q-U-I-V-O-C-L. Equivocal.
You say CL.
Did I say CL? See?
You wrote
I need to do a treatment. Frequently, I'll think something, and what I'm thinking and what I'm saying are not always the same. I have to try to get my brain in sync with my mouth. E-Q-U-I-V-O-C-A-L. Equivocal. It's very important that you look this up. See, this is what's taking a little bit of the time. Now, while you guys are turning there, I'm going to start reading because we got a late start. Is that okay? Or do you want me to try to wait until most of you are on the page?
Go.
Yeah, it is being recorded. Okay. Equivocal means lots of things, and some of your dictionaries will tell you exactly what it means, and some of them will not. The most important thing you should know about equivocal language, which is what English is this. And this is an old definition out of an old dictionary. Equivocal language is subject to two or more interpretations, and it is usually used to mislead. The dictionary specifically said that. It is used to mislead, to deceive, to confuse, and it is of uncertain nature or disposition toward a person or thing. It is of doubtful advantage, of doubtful genuineness, and of doubtful moral rectitude. That's what an equivocal language is. That's what English is. That's why when our ancestors used to say, the pale man speaks with forked tongue, that's what they were talking about. He says something and it's not usually what you think it means. Okay? All right. Now, I kind of want to share, turn to grammar. Because one of the things that you learn about English is what? Grammar. And you go to what? Grammar school to learn grammar. Grammar is spelled G-R-A-M-M-A-R. Grammar. Now, what you need to understand about the word grammar, is there anybody here that's ever seen this show that comes on weekly about the three sister witches called Charmed? Yeah. And they always talk about this book called the Grimoire, or the Dark Book of Shadows. That's another definition of the word grammar. Turn in your dictionary to the word grammar, and if it doesn't say it in the definition, it should say it in the brackets, that the word grammar is the same word as the word glamour, G-L-A-M-O-U-R. They're exactly the same. The word grimoire, I'm going to erase equivocal if that's all right. Because once you get this, see, because I don't have a lot of specifics and answers. That's what Omari is for. What I'm here for today is to get you clear. Once you have clarity in the concepts and you can see the big picture, then when people like Omari start shooting data at you, you're not sitting there and being bombarded with data. Once you have clarity and you can see the big picture, then when somebody starts throwing data at you, you can see it because now the fog is removed. That's what I do. I help people get things a little more clear. So I don't have a lot of specifics, but I can get you clear. Okay? All right. There's another word called grimoire, G-R-I-M-O-I-R-E. These three words are identical. Grammaire is G-R-I-M-M-A-I-R-E. And grimoire, G-R-I-M-O-I-R-E. These words are identical words. And when you look all of these words up in the dictionary, if you get to the brackets, then when you start looking at the derivations of the word, you will see that they're one and the same. So when you send your children to, and you went yourself, to grammar school, you were really being placed in a situation where you were being cast the most vital spell on yourself that could ever be cast. Grammar school is glamour school, grammar school, grammar school, and grimoire school. The evil book of shadows. You were put a spell on, and you've been all messed up ever since. And the vowels A, E, I, O, U are also a very key part of that. And you learn how not only to learn and memorize it, but you probably have a song that you used to sing it and say it to memorize it. And you will see that when you get the article that they're going to hand out. I'm not even going to cover that, just read the article. It's only one page. It took up the whole back page of the article, the newspaper, when I wrote it. And what is it called? I think the article is called The Spell That Cursed My People. I wrote it. Okay. Now, who has looked this word up? Because I'm going to tell you what it says here. This is what I got out of the dictionary on these words. The word grammar means evil book of shadows, smoke and mirrors, a mask, magic, enchantment, witchery, occult learning, a layer of dust or grime, fierce or cruel, and it also means epistle, E-P-I-S-T-L-E. That is what the dictionary had to say about this word. When you look up grammar, if you get into the, who has it on the page? When you look in the brackets, you will find one or more of the variations in the brackets. And then when you go look up the variation, like this word, you'll see this one in the brackets. You look up this one, this should be in the brackets. You look up this one, this should be in the brackets. One or all of these should be in the brackets. As you go, you'll see they're all the same. And I don't have time to wait for you guys to all go through all the words. I'm just here to give you clarity of concept so you can figure this out. Yes, sir?
What year dictionary are you getting those definitions from?
I've gotten these from many, many dictionaries, but the dictionary that I like the most is the Random House College Dictionary, not Random House Webster's. They're not the same book.
What year is that?
This one I think is probably a 78, 76, 73, 78, something like that. I think those pages may have fallen out of mine.
That's in the front of that book?
Huh?
The front of your book?
The front has nothing on it. But it's a Random House College. Usually, if you find it intact, it'll have a red desk cover over it. But at a certain point, Webster's took over. And Webster's is the worst thing going. This one is in 1973. Huh?
How does funk and wagon rate?
I don't know. I don't know much about them. Is that what you have? It's better than none.
No, I don't. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't know. From what I remember, it's probably not that great. I'd say Oxford's, but they're very expensive. Usually if you get a good Oxford's dictionary, which most European households have, they come several volumes in the dictionary. There may be a whole book just for A, another one for B and C. So by the time you get an Oxford dictionary, you have what looks like an encyclopedia set. And it costs a lot of money.
Bowles Bookstore has a 13-volume set sitting in its window right now for $650.
Right. And if you have it, get it. If you can afford it, get it. They're probably the best. But if you can't afford it, then find an old random house that's not Webster's. Webster's should be the last thing you get, and get that only if you can't find anything else. Huh?
Webster's Moorish.
Yeah.
Set it up.
Actually, they're a lot of the problem. That's why they went about the affairs of buying out and taking over most dictionary companies, including Random House, Merriam, and a bunch of other people's. Webster just seized them all up and said, oh no, we got this covered. All right. Now, there's something else that I wanted to go over. How many people in here have heard that you are black? How many people here know? How many of you know why you're not? I'm interested in hearing why you're not. Why aren't you black?
Why am I not black?
Yeah.
Black is the color. I'm not black. I'm
Okay, and why aren't you black?
Through European
And I want to know if anybody here is going to tell me the true reason why you're not black. And no, you can't tell me because you know.
The dictionary definition of black makes you not want to be. You don't want to be associated with that word.
You're almost there, but not quite accurate.
Because number one, black is a color, like you said. But if you get into the physics of color, then the reflection of the color is what you see. And therefore, if you appear black, it means you're reflecting the light, and actually you're white.
He's on point, but he didn't say it in a way that most people can get it. So, turn to the dictionary definition of the word black. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you why you're not black and why the word cannot possibly apply to you based on their definition. Now, frequently when the word is used to describe so-called black people, you know who they're talking about. But by definition, it's not even remotely possible for you to be black because the word black means bleached up and pale. What? It also means bleak. These words are one and the same word. Now get in the brackets of the word black, and I want you to see where it says Old English. It'll say, oh, there'll be a bunch of different things. It'll be B-L-A-K, B-L-A-E-C, and so on. But B-L-A-E-C should say O-E in front of it, Old English. Now, if you get to the word bleak and bleach, and you get in the brackets, they will say O-E-B-L-A-E-C, which means to whiten up, brighten up, lighten up, to be bleached up and pale in color. Ooh-wee. Now, who sees it? I don't even see anybody turn. I mean, who sees it? Who doesn't see it?
I see it.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to also say the Spanish of the white BL. Okay.
Right.
That's Italian.
Right. Is there anyone that doesn't see what I'm talking about yet?
what is AS?
Oh, Anglo-Saxon. And SCOT is Scottish. Me is Middle English. Huh?
Bleak means pale.
You see that?
Yeah.
But do you see in the brackets where these words are, one or all of these combinations of these words are there? Because you have to look in the brackets.
They say white.
Yeah,
white.
yes. The one, the OE, bleak.
O-E-B-L-A-E-C should be in the brackets for all three of these words.
3 of them is in there.
I just want to make sure you guys are rolling with me. Because see, I can stand here all day and tell you you're not black. It's not possible for you to be black. By definition, you're not black. You have to see that.
Yeah, that's for real. I know.
Okay, so by definition, is it possible for you to be, most of you, to be black? By Old English definition, where the word came from.
It's a misnomer.
White. See bleach.
What's the matter, brother?
This says white, see bleach. What you calling it?
Like I said, I can get you clear. So that when people like Moors and whoever and the brother here on Mari start saying, our people are not black, no matter what they're saying, you have a good reason why you know now that you're not. Okay, and I can give you some reasons in the color thing when we get into the law dictionary why. Are you with me, brother? Because you look, do you have a dictionary back there? You, sitting like this with your arms crossed. Yes. Did you look in the book? Did you see it? Is there anybody here that thinks they're black now?
No way.
Well, it's okay that you're confused because you're under the grammar. You're under the glamour of grammar. English is not your language. You speak it, but you didn't know it. Now I'm giving you some ideas how you can start figuring it out without me. Okay? Now, let's go to another word. Turn to the word nice. N-I-C-E. How many of you, when someone tells you, you know, it was really a pleasure meeting you, you're very nice, you think they said something good to you? Now, you see why I said you had to have the books, because you were going to think I was coming from left field and making this stuff up unless you saw it with your own eyes. The word nice, when you get in the brackets, it means stupid, foolish, ignorant, and you do not know. Do you see it? I mean, a lot of these words that people call simple words, those are the reasons why our people are messed up. Prime example, Michael Jackson.
He's black.
He black.
That's not where I was going. That's not. But he is black now. That's not where I was going with it. Is there anybody that does not see that the word nice is not a good word to apply to anyone that you really care something about? Yes, sir.
Actually, saying, I got this person nice, but actually, just what you said, I'm calling you foolish.
Yeah, but if you know that you're spelling, see, when you're melanated, Omari and I were talking about this the other day. Europeans do not have what you have. They do not have the superconductor called melanin, or they do not have enough of it. Because you're melanated, and the more melanated you are, the more better, you are what is called a walking superconductor. Melanin has the capacity to absorb all forms of energy and frequency, light, sound, tone, and color, transmute them, transmogrify them, and then re-emit them as another form of energy. And the more melanated someone is, the more appropriate they are at doing it. And appropriate means one's own. So, when you look out at the world and you see the condition that it is in, and right now it really is a big mess. It's in a very big mess because the most melanated people in the world are in a mess. Right. Because melanated people, because they are superconductors, have the power to take energy and create or destroy something. So everything that's going on in the world today is going on because melanated people project it out. Europeans, they have the ability to trick and deceive and use what is called violence. The word violence means, if you look it up, it means distortion of fact. If you look it up in the dictionary, the word violence means distortion of facts. Don't just sit there, you guys. Turn these pages so you can see what I'm saying. I don't want you to just take my word for it. Don't believe that I'm telling you the truth. Look and see, and then nobody can ever come and take that away from you because you saw it yourself, you know for yourself. What Europeans have is the capacity, as the Bible says, to use violence and force and shed blood to cause my people to err. And my people suffer for lack of knowledge. We perish for lack of knowledge because we're nice. Now, I'm not saying we're crazy. We're under the grammar or the glamour of grammar. But what they have the capacity to do is create an image that comes through the textbooks you look at in school, the magazines you read, the newspapers you read, the radios you listen to, or the television programs, and they call it what it is. It's a program. Your brain is a supercomputer. They program what goes in, and as a melanated individual, they lay out their plan. Okay, what is it they say if you want to have, they ask you, so where do you want to be in the next 10 years? If you've already written out a plan, well, in 1 year I want to be here, in 5 years I want to do this, and in 10 years I want to own my own home. In 10 years, if you own your own home, is that a prophecy? No. That's a specific goal. Europeans have written out specific goals and projections and their target dates for which they want things to occur by. But they do not have the power to manifest the things they want and make them real unless they shoot them through the semiconductor of melanin, which is you, by way of their medium, because television, radio, magazines, books are a medium. That means they're the middle passage of what they send a thing through to the superconductor that is you, and then you project back the image, and it was programmed into your computer to make their reality come to be. So you create and destroy the reality that you live in every day. And you have the power to do that, and the darker you are, the more you have the power to do that. And I love this brother's color. God, I wish I looked like him. And for years, they probably had this brother thinking that there was something wrong with him because he was dark.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you nigga, you black, you ugly. You know, a lot of people get in this whole craziness and thinking that lighter and brighter should be better. Oh, I like her, she's got light skin, she's got good hair. Whatever that means. The nappier your hair is, the better. Because again, them spirals, which is your nappy little kinky spirally hair, are superconductors. If you take an automobile that has a radio and it has a straight, pale-colored silver antenna for the radio, which is like blonde, straight hair, and then you have a cell phone that needs more power to get over all of that, then you got to take a little black, nappy antenna and stick on the car in order to use your cell phone, because you have to supersede whatever the straight, shiny silver antenna can do. So, your little dark, nappy hair is much more powerful than any straight blonde hair. Don't get it twisted. I mean, yeah, do get it twisted. Exactly, do get it twisted. I'm glad you caught that. Back to Michael Jackson. And remember, he was turn to the word bad. Michael Jackson has a song out called Bad. Is that accurate? Yes. And before the song Bad, Michael Jackson was more masculine. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Michael did not know that by doing concerts and repeating the song Bad at a show or on stage and repeating it over and over again, being melanated caused a spell that made Michael what he is today. When you look up the word bad and you get into the brackets, and how many of you have sons or know people that have sons and say, man, that shows a bad little boy. Do not ever call any little melanated boy bad. The word bad means effeminate and hermaphroditic. Get in the brackets. The word bad means a hermaphrodite or womanish man. Is that what you see in the dictionary?
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
do you see how Michael has caused himself being melanated? And when you are melanated, what is it that the scriptures say? Ask and you shall receive. You speak it out and you make it reality because you spoke it into existence. And this is something that dark-skinned people have the power to do. He kept saying, I'm bad, you know it. And today, he's bad, and you know it.
And you know that.
He has become a womanish man.
He's even wearing the bell over July.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What about James Brown?
Well, he's kind of womanish, too. I mean, you know, not to the extent of Michael, but, you know,
You've been on the other
and
side.
today, see, brothers used to be some of the most powerful entities walking until back in, was it the 70s? Everybody was like, yeah, I'm bad, because of James Brown. And now, we have so many brothers that are swinging in both directions, which is fine, that's your business, everybody should do what works for them. But they're swinging in both directions, and they have these undercover closet affairs going on with other men, with the wife. If brothers knew what we were calling one another and what we're speaking out and causing to occur, we, especially as sisters and mothers, would not ever call our men this word. You understand? Because you made your sons. If you have a son that turned out to be gay, you probably called him this one too many times. Okay? Are you guys clear? I'm just trying to get you clear. Europeans knew we had that power. They knew they did not have it. That's why they didn't allow us to read until they finished reconstructing all the writings, which they call the Reconstruction era.
Right.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, that's for a womanish man. What about for man like woman?
I have no idea. You find that word and call me and let me know.
Look up that Jordan.
I told you, I can only give you the little bit I know. I don't know everything. I don't know a whole lot. I only know some things. And what I know is not that much, but the little bit that I know, everybody else should know it. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, the brother, when I came in, a young brother gave me something very beautiful that was like a Blackmore thing. Turn to the word blackamoor in your dictionary. B-L-A-C-K-A-M-O-O-R. Now, when you look in the brackets, it'll tell you that it is an offensive, derogatory term that is unexplained. It's an unexplained variation of Blackmore. You know why? Now you know why it's unexplained. And it'll show little B-L-A-C-K black with a capital M-O-O-R more. But it should also say any dark-skinned person. So any dark-skinned person, and I've seen dictionaries that say any dark-skinned person, sometimes with thick lips and nappy hair. I think Oxford said that. But the reason it's unexplained is because back in those days, they knew that black meant bleached up and pale, so they couldn't understand why or how you could take the term black, which means bleached up and pale, and stick it in front of more and call it any dark-skinned person. Because it don't add up. Why doesn't it add up? Because black means bleached up and pale. And more means any dark-skinned person. So once you put them together, it's not that easy to explain it. So there you go. An oxy, more, on. Right. Left. Left. We don't want to be right. We want to be left. Got it? Oh, we'll get there. Okay, now, I don't want to get insulting, but before we get into the Strong's exhaustive concordance, because now I've shown you how to use a dictionary. I hope. Now you guys know how to look up a word. Yes? Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to look up words in the Strong's exhaustive concordance. But before we go there, I'm going to show you a word that is going to probably insult some people. That's why I wanted you to have your own stuff. So you could see this for yourself. Otherwise, you would get up and walk out of the room on me because I'm going to insult some people. We're going to research the word Jesus. Now, in Latin, who Who knows that there really is no such thing as J except in new language? J is the newest letter under the sun. In ancient times, there could have been no one walking named Jesus because there was no such thing as J in the ancient times.
Right.
So, we're going to try to correct that part with even that little simple piece. So, if there was no one walking around called Jesus in ancient times, then who are you guys calling on?
Yes.
Who are you praying to? Now, there's a problem with that. In Spanish, how do you say this? Jesus. Look up Zeus and get into the brackets, if your dictionary has them, which is Z-E-U-S. Now, I'm getting ready to mess you guys up a little bit if you're Christian. I don't know who is one in here, and it's not my intention to insult. But just like you know that you're not black anymore, I hope you'll know you shouldn't call Jesus either in a minute. Who said mess him up? That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to mess you up. I'm here to fan away the fog so you can see. Brother, you need to be sitting by somebody with a dictionary. You all up in an island? Okay. Now, do you have brackets for your Jesus or not?
No, they didn't give us any.
And you know why? Because they know what it is, and in case you ever figured out how to use the brackets, they didn't want you to know what it was. But I'm going to show you anyway. Turn to...
Oh, not for Zeus, but for G.
Turn to... there's something in the brackets for Jesus?
No, the one thing that has in the bracket for Jesus is this one.
Middle English.
It's Middle English, Old English, and Latin, Lower Latin,
Lower Latin.
Greek,
And that's it.
with the I. And then in the Hebrew, Yeshua.
Now, Yahshua,
Synopticated.
I'm not going to get really deep into that. I'm going to leave that as your assignment to find out. The word Yahshua means I am salvation. So, when you want to be saved, you need to look towards yourself. Look inside yourself for your salvation, because the spark of Creator is inside you. You were born with it. You came directly from the Creator through your mom's womb, and you were unified with the Creator of creation from the moment you stuck your little head out. You did not need to reach out to any blonde-haired, blue-eyed anybody to call for salvation, because you are connected to the Savior already. But that's not where I was going. Yes.
What is IHS? That's the Greek.
IHS.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, because I got Aramaic, Joshua, Jah salvation, they say, see also IHS.
Well, if it says CIHS, then turn and CIHS.
H dot S.
Turn to it. It's probably in the dictionary just like that. If it says CIHS, it's probably in there just like that. That is probably the Hebrew letters for it, from right to left. It's probably, what does the I look like? I know I and Y are the same. Y should look like that. H should look like that. And I don't remember what S looks like. For Hebrew? And I don't remember. Well, y'all need to talk to this sister back here. She's real clear on her Hebrew. I used to know it, but I'm fuzzy. I've been out of touch. But turn to D-E-U-S. And when you get to D-E-U-S, in the brackets, it should say Zeus. We want to get you guys clear. And God, I have so much to go over. I hope we can get through it all in this little time.
All I have is Jesus as ex machination. I don't have.
In your brackets, it doesn't say Zeus. Does it say it in mine? D-E-U-S?
The bracket says Latin,
It's all.
D-U-S, God, G-O-D with G.
Okay. Is there more than one Zeus?
Circa, Greek, Zeus, Sanskrit.
So it does say Zeus. It does say Zeus. Okay. But it says Zeus under Zeus, right?
Zeus under Zeus.
Okay, now, look at the word just below it, D-E-U-C-E. When you get in the brackets, it'll say D-E-U-S, but D-E-U-C-E means devil.
Bad luck.
But deuce and Zeus are the same word, and deuce, D-E-U-S and Z-E-U-S are one and the same word.
Lord, also get an X pronunciation on that if I remember.
But D-E-U-S and D-E-U-C-E are also one and the same word.
Dice is in there.
Deuce, dice.
Word dice.
Yeah, but there are two different definitions of deuce. Deuce,
Sure is.
this one means devil, D-E-U-S, when you read it, not the brackets, but the definition itself. There are two definitions. D-E-U-C-E means damned and confounded. So my people have been damned and confounded by the devil they call Jesus, which is Deuce, Zeus. Does anybody not see it? Because, you know, you need to see this with your eyes.
I don't even see it by myself.
Come over here and see what it is.
He just wants some special attention.
No, I just don't see it. It's not here by itself.
You're right, it's not. Snake eyes. Snake eyes.
That is just like yours.
No, mine has it by itself, and mine says Deuce and Zeus.
I think it's,
You can ask them to. I don't want you to believe
I'm
me.
saying surrounded by it.
Okay. You can ask them to let you see it mine. If you want to, you can get up and come look at it in mine.
Mine's on the bridge. They might put something here. It's not it.
Get up and come and look at it in this one. Since it's not in yours, come look at it in this one so you will have seen it
We keep the class going.
for yourself.
Oh, no.
You keep the class going, but you can still get up and do that while I'm keeping the class going.
Okay, my bad.
Who needs to see that? It's in there. Okay, so what does deuce mean, D-E-U-C? It also means damned and confused or damned and confounded. And D-E-U-C-E, if you get in the brackets, does it somewhere in there say D-E-U-S in the brackets? And when you get into D-E-U-S, doesn't it in the brackets somewhere say Zeus, Z-E-U-S? In mine it does. Now, look at it this way. You don't hear anything in the so-called Bible about Jesus until you get to the New Testament. The New Testament is by who?
Greek.
The Greek. Who is the supreme god of the Greeks? Zeus. And if you look in the dictionary under Zeus, it will tell you the supreme god of the Greeks. So where do you find Zeus in the Greek Testament? It's written in there as what? Jesus. Jesus. It's really the same. Okay.
Spell, sister.
No, I'm not spelling. I'm unspelling.
Break the spell.
Oh, I'm unspelling.
I know.
Okay, now I took you there because we're going to transition from here into your Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, which is, where's mine?
Oh, I just grabbed it.
Oh, okay, you can keep it. You can keep it. You can keep it. I want you to get out your Strong's Exhaustive Concordance for now, because again, I'm giving you clarity on how to research. That way when people say things to you, you can go find out. Because most people never taught you how to verify what you've been told, that you've been taught to just believe what you're told. Why don't ask no questions when your mom tells you you can't go somewhere? Why? Because I said so. And the police try to stop you, and it's like, well, you give me a ticket for what? What did you stop me for? Oh, you want to get out? You want to get out? You want to go to jail? You're not allowed to ask questions in this society. So therefore, the inquisitional part, or the inquisitive part of your being has been a little bit severed. So we're going to kind of tie the little knot and reconnect the ends so that now the inquisition or the inquisitor can come back out of you. so you can ask questions. You don't have to believe everything somebody tells you. Now you know how to go see. Okay? Hopefully this is a piece of helpful information. Look in the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. Now I know a lot of you who does not know how to use this thing. More people in here than that don't know how to use this thing. That's okay. That's better. Try to be truthful about this now, because everybody got one in their house though. Their grandma got one, but you don't know what to do with it. It is a dictionary of the Bible, and the way it's set up is you can utilize the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance to decode the Bible. The Bible is a coded book. It is not meant to be taken literally. Too many people read this thing and believe it word for word. That's not how. That is for when you read the Bible and you take it word for word. That information is for what they call the fish. Can I erase this? And we're supposed to be in the era of Pisces, which is also fish. The fish in what they call occult society circles. Yes. Thank you, sweetie. Or what they consider the uneducated, uninformed, lower levels of people, the low thinkers. They read the Bible and take it literally word for word the way it's said. That's what fish is about, ignorance. Those are the people that are nice. They're stupid and they do not know.
So that's what you mean when they say Jesus fans are fast fish?
Exactly. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. Jesus is the devil that came to deceive.
Feeding people master fish.
Yes. Yes. Now every creeping thing are what they consider the middle classes of people. How many of you have heard these terms in the Bible?
Things on the land.
Yeah, those, right. And the foul are considered the informed, supreme thought processors that are ruling everybody else. Okay? So, for those that want to come from the level of being a fish and start working their way up into passing the creeping thing, every creeping thing, and becoming a fowl, you need to know how to use the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. The very first portion of the book has every single word in the Bible written in alphabetical order. So, let's say, for example, you want to tell somebody something like, well, you know, you guys believe in the Bible, but somewhere in the Bible, these Christmas trees and decorate these Christmas trees. And it does say that. Right. But if you're like, but I don't remember where it is, then what you do is turn to look up decorate, and it'll have the word decorate will have every single place in the Bible that the word decorate, or actually I think they use deck. The word deck comes up, and it will tell you under what chapter, what paragraph, and what verse in the paragraph, as far as how to go and find the word. And then it will tell you what number this book is in the concordance. So you can turn, if you want to, like if you want to show someone in the Bible where it says, thou shalt not deck the tree like the heathen.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Then you can say, okay, let me turn to Jeremiah 10:4 so I can show you in your own Bible. Then you can show it. But if you want to determine what deck means, then you say, okay, deck is word number, it'll say in the little off on the far right of the word deck, what number in the concordance it is. If the numbers are written straight up and down, then that is a word that is in the Hebrew dictionary. Like so, if it's a straight up and down number 1. If the number is written slanted in an italic, then that's a word you look up in the Greek portion of the dictionary. So the number 1 will be like that. Okay? So, Yes.
Repeat what the straight one was again.
The numbers that are written straight up and down in block form are words that will be defined in the Hebrew dictionary portion of the concordance. Words that are written in a slanted, italicized form are words that will be found in the Greek dictionary portion of the concordance. Okay? So, having said that, look in the first portion of the book and turn to the word Adam. Because a lot of men, especially brothers that are Christians and brothers that are Islamic, you know, they get in your face, sisters, with this whole, well, you came from me anyway, I'm the man, I'm the man. God made Adam first, and you came from my rib. Boom! God, and God is a problem word too, because the word God means Gothic, Gotham, Gothic, and it means German. So in God we trust means in Germans we trust, or in Austrians we trust.
Come on, teach our sister.
So you don't want to believe in God either. We can get to that probably tomorrow. Unless I need to go over it now because I brought it up.
Yeah.
Huh? If you look up the word God in the regular dictionary, because in the concordance it'll tell you it means judges, amongst a bunch of other things. So when you go to court and you have a court case, the man sitting up on the bench with the black robe on is God.
Right.
Or a representative of God, which really is Jesus, who is the head of all Christianity and the head of the Roman Catholic Church, which is the seat and foundation of all Christianity. And the dictionary will tell you that. All you got to do is look up Pope, look up Roman Catholic Church. I'm giving you words to look up that we're not going to look up today. But now that you know how to look this stuff up, you're going to look it up. That way you will know what you're saying when you talk to somebody. And when they're trying to argue and you realize they haven't done the research, you can go on about your business and just leave them in the dirt. Leave the fish swimming in the water. You're trying to fly up. All you want to do is come down occasionally as a fowl and eat a fish. Okay? But you don't want to be a fish. But you want to know when you're dealing with one. Fish and fowl don't socialize. Okay. So, you're going to look up Roman Catholic Church, you're going to look up church, you're going to look up Christian, and Christianity. I have a book, I was telling my sister and brother about it. No, I can't tell you guys about that book. It's a book by, I think the guy's name is Robbins, and it's a black hardcover, and it's called, I think it's called The Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Satanism.
Yes.
And they put the book out like that because they know that so-called black people will not even touch a book that says anything like that on the cover and will look at you sideways if they see you holding it reading. Man, what you reading? What you into? But this particular book, when you open the book up and you get into it, it's only a history book with this cover on it. And the book tells you every pope that, you know, what do they call it when they do a papal degree, that bulled something and ordered something, and you know how it tells you who invented witchcraft, the book, it just drops it. It's just a history book.
Give us the title again, please.
It's called The Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Satanism. I'm going to give Gwen and Carl the exact title and the exact author in case I'm calling it wrong, but I think that's what it's called. And you can find this book on the internet because everybody that I know that found it on the internet.
What's the author?
I think it's Robbins or Bobbins. Okay? And it's a terrific book. But one of the things in there is that all of this stuff that we're dealing with that you guys are trying to get free of right now only applies to Christians anyway. That if you're not a Christian, it don't even apply to you.
That's right.
In order for this stuff to apply to you, you have to be a Christian now or at some point in your life have been one or profess to be one. These rules and all this madness out here do not apply to people that are not Christians. Yes?
they have a term called Morisco, which means a Moorish Christian, a Moor who has converted over to Christianity.
Yeah, but most Moriscos became Moriscos by force, and most of the Moriscos today don't know their history, so when you try to correct them about this Jesus Christ Christianity stuff, they're ready to argue with you about, oh, you need to go to church and get saved yourself, because they don't understand what you're trying to tell them about how their ancestors were forced into Christianity, well, at the expense of a lot of bloodshed. A lot of our ancestors were massacred and murdered and tormented and tortured in order to shove this Christianity down our throats. And now that we have the opportunity to wake up and move away from it, a lot of our people that are so stuck in a belief system that have verified nothing, validated nothing, confirmed nothing, researched nothing, don't know how to look nothing up, will curse you out and be ready to take you to church and get you baptized if you try to tell them they need to get away from Jesus and Christianity. But in this dictionary, encyclopedia that I'm talking about, it says in there in no uncertain terms that Christianity is the Church of Rome. That is an exact quote. Christianity is the Church of Rome. Not the religion of Rome, the Church of Rome. And the church, when you look it up in the dictionary, will tell you it is the whole body of Christian believers. So anybody that believes in Jesus or anybody that is a Christian is a part of the church, which means they are the property or subject of Rome. And the Vatican is in Rome, which is in the heart of Germany. Because there are three brothers that when their father died, they split Germany up into these little separate aspects. So that one had this part, one had this part, and one had this part. But all of it, Italy, Rome, Germany, all of it was one thing. It was all Germany, Austria. It was all the same stuff. And George Bush and them are a part of this family. The Jews that run Hollywood are also a part of this family. The people that are in the Windsor Castle, the Queen and them, are a part of this family. All of these people are one and the same, and a lot of our people don't understand it. And I just tell them, well, if you don't think they're one and the same, then ask yourself why it is that the dictionary, at least I have one that says that Christianity is the antithesis of Judaism. But back in the day, they used to call it Judeo-Christian. Yes. So how is it the opposite? And if it's the opposite, why does the Pope wear a yarmulke like other Jews? So don't think for a second that you are being treated differently by different people. You're being treated the same by all these Europeans. They're all the same little family that's dying off. And they're not going to continue to live unless we keep letting them continue to live. And they will continue to live as long as we keep calling on them to save us. Because we keep calling on Jesus, Zeus, the Pope. Okay, now where was I going with this point? Somebody asked me to go click. Adam. Is anybody there?
Yes.
What number is the word Adam? It's on the far right. That's exactly right. Turn through the pages until you get to the Hebrew dictionary of the concordance. Not the regular Bible. The Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. And you'll know because you'll be past this list of words in alphabetical order. And then you'll get to all the words that are in numeric order under Hebrew, and you'll know they're Hebrew because the numbers will not be italicized. Once you get to the numbered words that are not italicized, turn to word 120. Because these brothers that tell my sisters that you're the man, I'm the man, you're a woman, you came from my rib, I'm Adam. Adam came first, you came from me. First of all, I don't know any man on earth that spit any woman from his rib, unless they're talking about the one in the crotch area. And Adam, by definition, did not come first. Eve came first. Who found word 120? Read to me what word 120 says, sister in the back with the glasses, and try to say it loud so it can be on the tape.
Okay, Adam from 119, Rudy, a human being.
Ruddy.
Right. A human being.
A human being.
Okay. An individual or the species mankind.
Stop. is ruddy. He is a human being from the species mankind. We are not ruddy, we're not human beings, and we're not mankind. That's why when Neil Armstrong is supposed to have stepped foot on the moon and said, this is a small step for man and a giant leap for mankind.
That's what he said.
He's talking about two totally different species. You're man. They're a kind of man. They're mankind. You're not mankind. You're not of mankind. You're not from mankind. Don't let anybody twist you up with that. And I'm going to show you how. Keep going, sis.
Etc. And then it says there's a semicolon, and it says times another plus hypocrite
Adam is a hypocrite.
plus common sort.
Adam is a common sort.
And then there's an X low man.
He's a low man.
And then in parenthesis it has mean
He's a mean person
of low degree.
of low degree. That's Adam. It comes from word number 119. Look up 119, and this time I want a brother to read that to me.
I'll read it.
Come on, brother, speak it up.
Show blood in face.
Shows blood in the face.
Blush.
He gets flush. Say that again.
I turn rosy.
Flush or turn rosy.
He turns rosy.
Be dyed or made red.
He gets dyed and made red. Who the hell is that? That is the original black man.
Right, please.
So, the sister cracking up. Adam is a low man, a mean person, a hypocrite, common sort of low degree that turns red, gets flushed, turns rosy, and shows blood in the face. So, who in here is Adam? Yes, brother.
They do speak of the pre-Adamites before Adam.
That's man. And Adam is a human being of the species mankind. So when they're on television now, talking about human beings and mankind, you know they're not talking about you. Because you're man.
That's why Darwin told me the picture.
Now turn and look up the word. Now I'm going to write this down. I know I don't want to take you guys back to the regular dictionary, but I'm going to tell you this so you can look it up later. Okay, can I erase this? Yes. All right. So, how many sisters have had some brother tell you something about you came from him and his rib? Okay. Now, the next time they tell you that, you say, you know what? You must be nice. It's got to be a gotta be so nice. Okay?
And you bad.
If you think that you spit me out, you are bad. You must think you a woman, because you can't spit out nothing. See?
Finished last, but that was nice, right?
And nice guys do finish last. One thing about the European, they do not lie. They trick.
Right.
But the truth, like they said in the X-Files, the truth is out there. It's up to you to find it.
Yes.
It's your fault if you don't look it up. You cannot fault the European for the jacked up condition you're in because you, as a melanated superconductor, created this condition. And you can uncreate it. But you have to first know that that's what's going on. That's why you're here today, so you can get clear.
That's right,
So that's all I can do is help get you clear. All right.
Yes, man.
The word man, M-A-N, and the word M-A-N-N-A, and the word M-A-N-A are one and the same. That's why they said them wandering Jews-ish people, the European, that was cast out, wander around and they were fed man, or manna.
They were fed manna.
They were fed manna.
They ate one more.
Huh?
They ate one more.
No, they were eating us, and they're still eating us. You're man. When you get a chance, look up. When you get in the brackets, you'll see that anytime you look in the brackets, for example, you'll get in the brackets of the word manna. Because when you look up man, it should tell you man. It also is this word, M-A-U-N. I mean, if you have time, you're welcome to flip there, you know. But I'm just saying we don't have time to go back to the regular dictionary. But you can go back if you know you're a quick reader. Because certain things you need to see for yourself, and while we're talking about it, it's probably the best time to see it for yourself, because later you may forget. So, when you look in the brackets of the word manna, it'll tell you that the N and A can be removed. These words are the same. It'll also show you that you can remove, I think, one of the N's. But anyway, M-A-N-A means supernatural force and power. That's what you are. That's what man is. Man is a supernatural force and power. Man is a superconductor, a melanated superconductor. And it is your melanin that makes you a superconductor. Stop looking for brighter, whiter wives and husbands. Say it. Find the darkest thing you can find if you want to get any level of your power back. And who say that again and say it out loud? There you go. There you go. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So y'all got the, so you let the European run this color game on you, and you started kicking out all the power in the community. Jeez, don't bring that black boy home. Cause see, brothers like him, that's all I was trying to talk to when I was coming up. And my grandmother used to be like, "Why you keep fighting all these black niggas?" I'd be like, "Hey, you know, this is what I like. What can I say?" But she wanted them lighter and brighter, and I didn't care. So, unfortunately, most of our people have heard that kind of stuff coming up, and a lot of us bought into it. Why? For one thing, they are our elders. Two, I'll disown you. What is it they say? You bring a white boy home, you're not my son, my daughter anymore. You bring a white girl home, you're not my son anymore. You bring something too black, you ain't my relative no more. Either way, my people have got to figure out where the power is. You are the power. They have this most supreme entity on earth, thinking that they are the most inferior entity on earth.
That's right.
And the most inferior entity on earth knows that you're the most supreme entity.
Yeah.
They know they're inferior, they know they're dying, and they know that you don't know. And as long as you don't know, they can keep programming your brain through their medium of images and sounds and frequencies to keep putting out enough power to transmute, transmogrify your energy and create their reality instead of your own.
All day.
You understand? Okay. Now, how many people in here are Adamites? From Adam. Okay. Now, turn to the word.
Ain't been listening.
I'm going to speed this up. Turn to word 3050, which is Jehovah. I think it's 3050.
3050.
In the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. I'm sorry. Remember see, that's what happens when you start switching books. So that's why I didn't want to go back, because it creates confusion. How you doing over there, young brother? You learning anything?
Let's go.
He probably still thinking, man, why am I going to bring me here? That's okay. Even though he's not listening, it's going in his ear anyway. And he's the proper age to learn this stuff. Because actually, people our age, I don't even usually mess with children. I'm after brothers like that one right there. Truth matter is him and that little fella there, that's my audience. Yes.
How did we get in this message?
Come with slaves.
It's the glitter of grammar. For one thing, we were not allowed to speak. What was that? If we know Hoots was not a true story, but one of the things they did to Kunta Kinte was stopping from me in Roots and also in Rabbit-Proof Fences. All these movies, the first thing they want you to do is stop speaking your language. This is how we speak here. They get you out of your frequency and vibration, which removes you and separates you from your power. And they do that first by separating you from your mother. And if you're a man, from your woman.
But they say English is the language of liars anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, the pilgrims that came over here were the rapists, the robbers, the thugs, the thieves, the criminals of Europe. They didn't want them. They kicked them out, cast them out. Here were the penal colonies. Yes. The word colony is the old word for the new word state.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'll get into some of that when we get into the Black's Law Dictionary. Okay, who's at Jehovah? Did anybody find the word?
That's a Yah.
Yeah. My bad, we gotta go further down.
Jehovah 306.
With a YLJ, y'all.
What is the word? 301 what? Jehovah's which one?
3068 for Jehovah.
Thank you, my bad. 3068.
Did you say my name?
Hey, but I am effeminate. And I am a womanish man. Man means supernatural force and power. Bad means womanish man. I am that. You understand? You shouldn't say it, my bad, brother. Now, what brother just said that? Okay. Now, the word Jehovah is a two-part word. The first part of the word is Yah, and it says it in the book. It says, see, the first part 3050, which is Yah.
Right.
And the second part is what number?
3068.
There's more numbers. Give me some more numbers. I think it starts with a 1.
So 1961.
Turn to that. 1961. That's the second part of the word Jehovah. Hey, you.
So is it going to make a difference whether this spelling is with a J or a Y?
Remember, there is no J in ancient language.
Well,
Why?
the dictionary is now.
When you look in a regular dictionary, if you look up J, if your old dictionary has, like in mine, let me just show you this real quick, because that's a valid question, brother. Okay, like here, my dictionary has the very forms of the letter, the original written forms of the letter, on the very first page for every letter. It'll tell you it's from Semitic or Phoenician or what, and then it came up to the Greek and the Roman or whatever. And then it'll have a little blip down here about the letter. And it'll tell you that Y and I and J are one and the same letter. Okay? So for those of you that are going, okay, well, what's this Yahovah? Where's the J? Okay? That's what I was telling you. There is no Jesus. There was Yahshua. All right. Can I erase this? Yes. Am I boring you guys yet?
Yeah, I hope not.
Okay. Jehovah is really Yahhovah. But I'm going to show you. Word 1961. Look down at word number 1962. I'm just going to make this quick for you. Whenever I look up words, I look at the words above and below the words, because sometimes they hide the stuff above or below.
So it is above.
Now, what does it say in word number 1962? It'll tell you, go look somewhere else and see Hova. Word 1943. Somebody read that.
Another form for 349. How and how?
Says mischief, but it gives you another number.
Hova, no, that's okay. Hova means mischief, ruin and calamity, rushing and falling, iniquity, which is unequalness and unfairness. And it says, see word number what? 1942? What does 1942 say?
1943.
Same thing, calamity, iniquity, mischief,
But,
It's from
right,
in the sense of equally covering
eagerly coveting,
and rushing upon.
rushing upon or rushing and falling. It means ruinous, calamity, mischief. It's a perverted, nawasome thing. Naughtiness, wickedness.
Wickedness, yeah.
Now, if you look up Jehovah, which was 30-something, 3068, it says in there that this is the God of the Jewish nation or something?
Yep, that's what it says.
The Jewish God?
The national God.
Say it again out loud.
God.
The Jewish national God is Jehovah.
Right.
But we didn't stop it. Yeah, you can go back and stop it if you wanted to. But you had to see Jehovah. Now, we have a lot of people that are calling on this individual, which is another form of demonism. Lower level things. People wanting to be Adam, a lower level thing. People calling on Zeus, damn confounded devil. And the most melanated people are the ones that are calling on this stuff, and what's wrong with the world? It's exactly all of that. It's ruin, it's mischievous, it's calamity, it's perverted, the Watson thing. All the boys are becoming bad. Everybody's nice, calling on Jesus, thinking they're Adam, calling on Jehovah, and the world's screwed up. Yes.
So, is this why one of the reasons why they're promoting Kabbalahism so toughly?
No, the Kabbalah stuff is your stuff. See, the Kabbalah stuff is your stuff. That starts getting into more of the magic, the witchcraft, the sorcery, the sciences that they don't want you to use because they need you to keep creating this reality. That's how they stay in control. Because if you get into your power and start creating your reality, it's like this. The Europeans are in power and they stand in power because they're standing on my backs. But when I stand up, they fall off. So whenever my people stop calling Jesus, stop calling Jehovah, stop thinking they're Adam, they can start standing up. When they stop being Christians, they're subjects of Rome and Europeans that are in the Windsor Castle, that are in the White House, that are in Hollywood or wherever they are, claiming they're whoever they are and they're really all the same people, then we can start standing in our own power, standing in your own space, on your own so-called square. Personally, I like standing on circles, but, you know. Does anybody have a question?
The square fits in the circle, right?
Well, they all add up to 360 degrees.
Right.
You know.
Show them that, because they're not going to believe.
Believe what?
Put a square up and then put the 90 degrees in and you show them.
I think that, who doesn't know that? That a square is 360 degrees. It kind of is another class. I mean, each corner, each right angle is 90 degrees. There's 90 in this corner. This is getting into geometry for you guys, some of you. Now, my square may not be quite square. This one is 90 degrees. This one is 90 degrees. This one is 90 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 9 is 360. Or 4 times 9 is 36. Stick the O back there. 360 degrees in a square and 360 degrees in a circle. But melanated people are circular and spirally, like your nappy hair and your nappy melanocytes, which are spiraling vortexes. Your hair is a spiraling vortex. You know, oceans have all these spiraling vortexes. Europeans are square. They do things linear. When we were building buildings, all of our buildings had circular, rounded apexes at the top. The domes, what they call the Moorish architecture or Islamic architecture, everything was rounded, like the womb inside the mother. Everything was rounded, like the planet we're standing on.
Yes.
Things were rounded and spiraling. But Europeans, they have all these buildings that are squares. Squares. They're in the box, and now they have you in the box. So you got to get out of the box so you can get off the hook and get off the chain.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it? Play on words. Stop being a fish. Get out of Pisces, which is the era of ignorance and delusion and confusion. Because anything that's Greek is hell. And, no, we're not going to go there. When you guys get a chance, I want you to look in your regular dictionaries, write this down as homework. Look up the word hell, H-E-L-L. Look up the word Helen, H-E-L-L-E-N. Helene, H-E-L-E-N-E.
Like Helene Curtis.
And the word Hellenistic, H-E-L-L-I-N-S-T-I-C. Somewhere in there, because most of the dictionary definitions don't tell you right where you need to find it, like in hell. But when you look all of that up, they're all the same word. The word hell means Greek, or anything Greek, like Zeus, Jesus, Jesus. And the word hell means, or Hellenistic, or Helen, or Helene, or anything that's of hell, is coded to confound and confuse and to mystify. That's what the word hell means. That you're confused, you're confounded, and you've been mystified. Because you're in the glamour of grammar, because you're speaking language. I'm going to erase this. Language, which is linga, age, which is the penis era. That's what's wrong with everybody. We've been, I got young minds in here, so I can't say. We've been clicked. Stick a D there instead. Okay, language. When it comes to words, when you're dealing with vowels are removable and interchangeable. Language is the same as language. And ling is short for linga, which is another word for phallus. Linga, and if you take the U out, age. We've gone from an era of the world being ruled by womb entities, known as so-called women, woman, to an era where we're ruled by phalluses. We're being dicked. Excuse me, youngsters. Yeah. Dictatorship. We've gone from matriarchy into patriarchy. Most societies that were melanated, actually all societies, when melanated people were ruling the world, all societies were matriarchal in nature. Now, men don't want to hear nothing their mother has to say, or hear anything their wife has to say. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. You can't tell me. And that's what has our people screwed. The relationship between our men and our women must be repaired. And I do have a CD back there. Actually, it's a DVD. It's less than an hour long. I only have a handful of them. They're only $10. And it's called Moving Energy to Empower Men. It was written, I did it especially to empower my brothers. However, when I did that lecture, I was extremely angry with Sultan Khan Bey's people. And it shows for the people that know me. They're like, man, sis, what was wrong? I'm like, people that don't know can't tell. People that know me were like, ooh, girl, what was the matter with you? Yes, be old. But anyway, it's very short. I highly recommend it for brothers and sisters, because a lot of sisters do not know how to even deal with my brothers. We don't know how to talk to them. We don't know how to interact with them. And when we're raising our sons, we repeatedly fail in droves on how we do not teach our sons how to do level, fair combat with women. We make sure you know how to fight with men, but we never taught our men how to fight with women. And they don't know, and it's our fault. Okay? So, back to where we are. Now, I said that we're not from Adam, we are from Eve. Somebody look up Eve in the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. What number is that word? We're doing pretty good on time. This is good. I got to get through all these things. What number is Eve? What number is Eve? I don't have somebody has my book out there, so I can't pull it off the top of my head. EVE? Here, let me find it. Eve is word 2332. I think it's Kaya, C-H-A-Y-A-A or D-A, something like this. Chava. You guys find that word in your Strong's Exhaustive Concordances. And who has mine again? Oh, okay.
Here, yes, right.
No problem. You okay? Well, I'm all left, but I know what you mean. That which is right is male and positive. The word positive is also, and what do I do with the pen? While you guys are looking it up, since he said I'm all right, it comes up, so I'm going to cover it, and then I'm going to get back to where we're going. See, this is the problem. What is it people keep saying to people? Oh man, you're too negative, you're too negative. You need to be more positive. That's what's wrong with the world. We have too much positivity going on. That which is positive is the same as P-O-S-E. Positive. If somebody wants you to pose, what do you need to do? Stop and stand still. Positive is not moving. Melanin is the simpler conductor. Moving, must move. Like water. Oceans, rivers. Move. Gotta move. Gotta move. You keep being positive, then you're posing too much. You're standing too still. Exactly. Stagnating. And you're water, right? Because what is the human body? Over 70% water. And the earth is over 70% water. And the cosmos is over 70% water. And the air you breathe is over 70% water. And you're in all this motion and you want to pose and stand still and be positive. What you need to be is a little bit more negative. Because the word NE means no. And if you look in your regular dictionary when you get a chance, NE means no. No-gative. Gates do what? They lock you in. They close you in. They're enclosures. They bar you in. You want to be a little more negative. No-gative. So if there are no gates, then you can keep going. You don't want to be barred and gated in and closed up. So you need to be a little more negative. Or negative, or no-gative. No gates, no bars, no barriers will help you to move and flow and stop posing.
That's why they got to put all us men in jail. That's what they're doing, right?
Yeah. They're doing that because of some things they're getting ready to try to do, and they need to make sure the warriors are locked up. Most of the brothers that they leave out and let keep walking are brothers that they do not perceive as a threat.
Over 40.
The brothers that are a threat, the ones that are off the hook, got weapons, don't mind using them, they want them out of the way.
Right.
They want them contained and detained.
Right.
You brothers that are kind of laid back and just, whatever. You know, you must have did something wrong. If you're in jail, you must have broke the law. You brothers are no threat, you're okay. They can leave y'all out all day because they can come jump on you, jump on your wife, jump on your children, and you'll just stand there and do nothing. Not saying that any individual specifically, but for the most part, that is their perception. You're still walking. When this jumps off, that's because they don't think you matter. Yes. Come on.
I was just going to say, I might give that impression. I got a whole nother side to me.
And that's good. We'll need brothers like that too. All right. So, has anybody found Eve? Read to me what it says about Eve. Now remember, Adam is a nation of people that look like what? They're black people. They get red in the face, turn rosy, get flush in the face. Eve, what does it say? That's another nation of people. Say it louder. Eve is the life giver. That's all of you. Eve is who else? The first woman. Now remember, melanin is a part of the feminine principle. So don't think that brothers, when they say you're the first woman, they're saying you are effeminate. But you are a part of what is called the feminine principle, which is to the left. Because that which is right is positive, male, masculine, and stagnant. That which is to the left is female, flowing, fluid of water.
Is that what they mean by a son of a widow?
Well, yeah, you couldn't have got here without.
That's why in the Egyptian poles you see the female still with the hair and it's two left hands for the negative.
There you go. Okay, well see, now you're clear. See, all I can do is get you clear. Now you can see some of the whys that things are what they are. Anybody in here not getting clear? Who in here is getting clear?
Sister, you make it very.
Okay, this works for me.
What did he just say about you see the Egyptian woman holding up the baby?
He said she's got two hands on up to the left. Bring it down to the left, yes.
Yeah, so is that also a reason why they need you to swear with your right hand, because your right hand is backwards and your left hand is correct, but they are backwards, so they must prefer you to go the way that they go, which is right.
All right. And I forgot to ask y'all the whole questions till the end, so at this point I ain't gonna try. And my baby told me, he said, baby, make sure you ask them the questions to the end. And the sister asked me to do it too, and I forgot. Correct. The word rect means right. There's a problem with that. The word rect also means rex, which means right, which means king. But R and L are the same letter, so that also means lex, which is another word for law, still all to the right, all positive. It's better to be more left or level, which is the same, because left, lev, L-E-V, means left, means gauche, like read gauche, and that's the left L.
Left brain.
Left L, which if you take the word level, L-E-V-L-E-L, you have Eve sitting smack dab in the middle. So you don't necessarily want to be all right, and you don't want to be all left. You want to be level.
Easy balance.
Balance. You don't want to lance your bar. You want to be level. You know what I'm saying? So, in order to be level, you're going to have to start putting more weight. I'm a Libra. The scales are out of balance. So in order to balance the scales, you need to start putting more weight on the left.
Come on now.
So you start standing up straight.
Come on.
When you stand up straight, then people will fall off your back.
That's right.
Okay. Now, back to Eve. Somebody finished telling me about Eve. And somebody louder, because he's not loud enough. Who's got Eve on the page?
Eve. I have
Chava.
Shava.
Louder, Omari. Louder.
Java. Cobb, Ball, what is this? Cosats
Causative.
from first woman. I'm sorry, I missed part. Life giver,
Thank you.
Chava, or Eve, the first woman. You want me to go to
Keep
2,
going.
3, 3?
Yep, go to the wherever for you.
Chava. Again, Cobb, Va, pro the same as 232. Life-giving, i.e. living place, an encampment or village, small town.
Keep going. Go to the 233. Or whatever it is they referred you to. Okay, well, 232. Go to the one they referred you to. Unless I can do this faster, but I want y'all to see it.
We did that.
2-3-1.
Okay, well, what I'm not hearing you guys read to me is what it really says about Eve. Eve is the life giver. And it says that Eve is the one that's the solution to the problem. Eve is the repairer that's going to make everything level. Give me my book. Who's got my book? Because y'all ain't, not that one, baby. This one. Y'all ain't found it yet. I'll bring it right back.
The seer, down to 23:5.
I have it all highlighted in here.
Prime root.
Primitive word.
Primitive word, okay, declared or show.
233 what?
2332
Put these on so I can see here.
says life giver.
All
First
right.
woman.
Okay, here we go. Eve was from what? Was it 2331 or 2332?
We started at 2332.
We started 2332.
I think it goes all the way back to.
Okay, which means 2331, the life giver. 2331 means to live, to declare or show. Okay? And then it says compare it to 2324 and 2421. 2324 is down on the same page. It means to show. And the other word 2421 means to live, whether literally or figuratively, to revive, to keep alive, to make alive, to give promise, to give life, to let suffer, to live, to recover, to repair, to nourish up, to preserve, to quicken, to restore, to save alive, to be whole, to make whole. That's Eve. That's you.
But it also said God.
The Greek version.
You take what you want to take from that. You can leave it all if you don't want to use any of it. I'm saying that to say, they always said Eve was the problem.
No, she's the answer.
According to their own decoding dictionary, which you need to understand their Bible, Eve is the solution to the problem. Adam is the problem. Adam is what? The man, the species, the ruddy, shows blood in the face, gets red in the face, gets flushed, turns rosy, human being of the species mankind. He's low, he's a mean person of low degree, he's a low, mean man. That's Adam. Eve is here to revive, to restore, to recover, to make whole, to save lives. That's you. Yes.
Out of curiosity, just to make a pun out of it, George Bush and Condoleezza Rice, is that a
Man, I don't even know. I don't know what to make of that, sister. Did I get the brother back the book? Okay.
I was just looking at the comparisons some kind of way in there.
Right. Okay, now that's what I wanted to show you about the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. Now you know how to use it, right? All right. Now let's go to the Black's Law Dictionary. Do you guys need a 10, 15 at this point? You need a 10-minute potty break? Well, in all fairness, because your minds are a little on at this point, let's come back at 5:35. Right now it's 5:25. Let's take a 10-minute break. Is that long enough? Yeah. All right. How many people are beginning to get a headache? Your heads are not getting tight?
No. I just want somebody to help me carry this stuff back.
Okay. For some of you, it should be a mind lap.
This is 3 of the heaviest books I got at home.
You're taking away the confusion. You're putting tools in my hand.
Right. See, all I'm doing is trying to show you how to use the tools. I'm not here to create any followers. I don't know where I'm going, so you don't want to follow me. But I can show you how to find your own thread to get out of the labyrinth. You know what I mean? All right. Well, now, how many people here got the Black's Law 7 or 8? Because those won't work today.
What is the difference in those?
I don't know. A lot of things are not there. A lot of things that are no longer in them.
Edit something out.
Yeah, they removed a lot of stuff.
Edit out or add in.
They add things in, but
the confusion.
like one of my sisters, Lady My Aunt, would say, if it's new, it's not true. And if it's true, it's not new. So 7th and 8th, they're a little too new. So they can't be all true. These other ones are a little new too, but you know.
Okay, so what isn't new?
Huh?
You know, I'm talking as far as
you know, people who aspire to...
What isn't new, you're not new.
No, I'm talking about as far as the blacks, you know, which edition would you want to go and...
Well, they're all a mess, in my estimation, but 4, 5, and 6. Preferably 4 and 6.
Okay.
4 and 6 are the ones you would want to try to get. Okay? But if you can only find a 5, get the 5 in hardback, not paperback. 3rd is cool too, but a lot of the things that are going to be covered are not in there.
Why are they just now trying to cover it up and not back there when they did 2 and 4?
Back in those days, our people weren't that good in the English. Remember, back in the day, we weren't allowed to read.
Right. That's right.
It wasn't that far back. Look in the book, at the copyright in the book. Look in the copyright of the book.
We weren't smart back there.
It's not so much that we weren't smart. Our people are fish. Our people were very Christianized. We weren't. Originally, when the Europeans came here, and they found our people, because they did find our ancestors. I like ancestors instead of ancestors. You know, A and C, A and K, same difference. To me, that may as well. Can I erase this?
Yeah.
See, somebody's gonna always get you off on a tangent. It's not relevant to where you're going. S is the root of the word essence. That's us, ancestors. Our ancient ancestors were here. The Europeans came here and found our ancestors here. And yes, we could write, and yes, we could read. But we did not write nor read in the language they wrote and read in. They were so impressed with the way we lived and ran our governments and the situations, the way we did things, that they modeled and emulated everything after us.
Right.
Some of our people tried to help them and work with them. And everything that we did, all they did is turned on us and used it against us. And they have us, the progeny of our ancestors, in this trick bag and bind today. When I have a page out of I think it's an 1849 Webster's Dictionary. And the definition of American, who has a penny in here? Everybody pull out a penny. No, don't give it to me. Just pull it out. Put it on the brown hand side of you. Pull the penny out, stick your hand out, and lay the penny on the back of your hand like this. Y'all need to move a little faster. It shouldn't take that long to get a penny on the back of your hand. All right. The definition in this 1849 dictionary of American was the copper-colored races of people that the Pilgrims found on these shores when they arrived here. Today, however, the term is applied to the descendants of the Pilgrims that arrived here and found the true Americans. So when you look at the penny on the back of your hand, is the definition of American more you or them?
You.
The copper-colored races of, I think they said Aboriginal indigenous people that the European, well, they said Pilgrims, that the Pilgrims found on the Americas when they arrived.
You said that was, the year was 18?
That's an 1849 Webster's Dictionary, and I don't like Webster, but I'm saying all that to say, they had something that was going on when George Washington and these guys were running around. The Europeans that were brought here, because remember this was a penal colony, a lot of these people were prisoners of Europe, and they were displaced here to work and do trade, or to do the labor for trade. But some of them liked the way that we did things so well that a lot of them ran off the colonies and ran over to live with us. That's why the people that are on the reservations today look more like them than the true copper-colored races of people they found here. But when they came and they started running off with us, they had to pass laws to stop that. And one of the laws they called a law against Indianization, which was a European loving the way that the autochtons lived so well that they ran off to be with them and ran off from the colony. And I just gave you another word that you should look up. The word is autochtons, A-U-T-O-C-H-T-H-O-N-S. That's you. The pilgrims are heterotochtons, people that come from somewhere else to a different land. Autochtons are people that are attached to the land. See, the autochtons here were lied to during the Reconstruction era. It's not that they were, what is it you said, not smart, but they were not allowed to read the language of the European. Because a lot of our people started teaching themselves this freaking language. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what they did is, you know, you could be killed, you could be disfigured, dismembered, tormented, tortured, or you'd have to watch them torment or torture one of your relatives that you cared a lot about. The same way they convinced you to become Christian is the way they kept you from speaking their language. When they finally finished rewriting all the text and reconstructing all the manuscripts, then they started allowing our people to read. But you have to deal with something that's genetically inbred with this whole I could be beat or killed or tortured for reading, so that's still something with my people, the reluctance to read, because reading was almost beaten out of you. So when you were finally allowed to read, nobody was beating down the doors or breaking their necks to hurry up and read, because they still had to get over the fear that was attached with the forceful not reading, if that makes any sense. So it's still to this day that, you know, what is it you said? Well, how far back was the fort? What was wrong? We weren't smart then? Well, we're in the 2000s now. Our people still don't read that much. Most of the people sitting in here didn't even know how to look a word up in the dictionary. Does that make you not smart?
No, I'm just saying that they're changing it, and they didn't change it back then.
They changed it back then. The fourth was different from the third, which was different from the second, which was different from the first. They're changing it all the time. See, if they keep changing the game and trying to keep you off step, every time you appear to catch up, they try to change the game and the rules of their Hellenistic code of mystification to keep you from figuring it out. But if it's new, it's not true, so don't deal with it anyway. If it's true, it's not new. So you want to get into the concept of finding the word, finding the brackets, and tracing back to the old, original meanings of the words, because then you can find more of what was true. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we said all that to say what?
Yeah. That's like going back to the origin.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, because like somebody asked me, they tell me, well, you know, we can't trust their books, we can't trust their dictionaries, because they're liars. They are liars, but their ancestors, their ancestors have died. And they've left this labyrinth. And in the labyrinth, you have, for lack of better words, Theseus, trying to find the way out of the labyrinth and not able to find the way out until the golden thread is found, and then you follow the thread. So, in order for them to make sure that their progeny, or descendants, could keep this maze going, they had to leave a thread for their ancestors to follow. I mean, their progeny, children, to follow. That's where the brackets come in. And they never taught you how to use them. But they know their children know how to use them. So their children that are ruling over us know how to continue to rule over us because they have the thread to find their way through the maze of hell and confusion. You understand?
Black Rose was all about. That's what the movie The Black Rose was all about with Sean Connery.
I never heard of it.
About 6 hours long.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, how many people have ever signed a traffic ticket of some sort? I'm not sure about out here, but in California, the tickets say on the signature line, I agree to appear in court on such and such a day. Do your tickets say that? Anything about agreeing to appear?
It's a checkbox.
Okay, well, if it doesn't say that, then we don't even need to cover that.
It does. Checkbox. You can pay or show up in court.
Does it use the word show up or does it use the word appear?
Appear.
Okay, so then it is relevant. All right, get your Black's Law Dictionary out and turn to the word appear. We're going to have to speed it up. I got a lot of information I want to give you guys. Which means if we can refrain from the interaction.
Well, certainly, we can make up that time, so if it's all right with you.
It doesn't matter. I don't know what everybody else's commitments are. You know, some people have children and things they have to do and places they have to go and clubs to go party in.
Second stage, we'll go over a little bit, and the ones that can't, then the DVD will be for sale in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because we're trying to give you all what y'all paid for.
I hope you're getting what you paid for. Is anybody unhappy so far? Okay, cool. All right, under the definition of appear, it says a few things, but when you get to the bottom, does it say see appearance?
Yeah.
Turn to appearance. See, this is what you have to do. If you are looking in a dictionary and they say go see this word, go see that word. Don't just assume that you already know what they're talking about, because you don't. This is not your language.
Right.
This language was shoved down your ancestors' throats. Their language was beat out of them. Thank you. Our ancestors, yes. All right, appearance. Do you see under the word appearance where it says you submit yourself to the jurisdiction of someone else?
Voluntary submission.
Say it again.
Voluntary submission.
The voluntary submission. What else?
Voluntary submission to a court jurisdiction.
Okay. The voluntary submission to the court's jurisdiction. That's what they have you agreeing to do when you sign anything that says you're coming to appear. And I'm not saying that to say anything other than be clear what the words mean so that when you get in there, you know. Because a lot of people go to court and start arguing about jurisdiction, what jurisdiction, and all they're doing is looking at the contract that you signed and said, you agreed to appear. Which means see appearance. Which means you voluntarily agreed to submit yourself to their jurisdiction. Now, again, people say, well, how do you get out of it? What if you don't sign? Well, they might beat your brains out, blow your brains out, take you to jail. I don't know. I would say, if at all possible, to reserve your rights on the autograph line that is called a signature. Now, please turn to the word signature.
You don't have to sign these tickets.
Okay, now don't say something that somebody's going to get them in trouble. And that's good that they don't have to sign them, but what alternative do you have?
I didn't even ask.
All of them
ask.
all doesn't have a signature line.
The signing is also voluntary.
No, there's no signature.
Okay, well, see, then we're talking about nothing here then. I need to skip to the points that are relevant to Chicago. Because this is relevant in California. You have to sign under the appearance line.
All we have is a checkbox. That's it. And that's your submission, I guess, because you say
Checkbox?
It's a checkbox. That's all it is.
They got a checkbox, and y'all go to court for those?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, they'll send a warrant. They'll put a warrant out for
A warrant for what? If all you did is put a checkbox. They don't have your agreement.
Well, they're assuming the agreement.
Man, the
that
cop
you
could
have
put the check in the
When
checkbox.
you have a driver's license and registration, that's where they assume the jurisdiction from the beginning.
But how do they know you have a driver's license or registration? All they have is a checkbox.
Because most of the time they've done that through duress. They've taken the driver's license.
Take the driver's license on the bottom.
No, they only take your driver's license.
And they won't give it back.
Oh, they'll take the license from you and give you the ticket. You have to go and show up to get the license back.
Through duress.
Because we used to here in the state of Illinois.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now this is interesting.
Unless you got a bond card. You don't leave the scene unless you got a bond card and you surrender your license. Otherwise, they're taking your butt to jail. Yes, ma'am.
See, I needed that little tidbit of information so I could have done some additional research prior to my arrival. I just assumed, and you know what they say about assuming, it makes you an ass. I assumed some things that are going on here that are not going on here that are very different from what goes on in California. And that's a whole other bag of wax.
Well,
It's almost like, so they'll keep the license and issue a warrant.
Well, see, usually the warrant is issued after you don't show up for court.
No, after you don't appear.
Exactly.
See, you agreed to appear.
Well, actually, no, because like what happened to me.
They said the ticket says appear.
Well, but see, it'll
They
have
said the ticket says
no,
appear.
it'll have another.
They said the ticket says appear.
Oh yeah. It depends.
Does the ticket say appear? Yes. Okay, let's go.
No, because they
turn to the word.
You don't have to appear.
Turn to the word signature. That's good. Turn to the word signature.
The act of putting one's name at the end of an instrument to attest its validity.
Stop. Signature is the act of putting one's name at the end of an instrument to attest to the validity of the instrument. So anything that you put your name on where it says signature or it says sign, which is a contraction of signature, you have attested to the validity of the instrument. That's what the word signature means. That I am stating that this instrument is true and valid. Now, the ticket that you get, or the 1040 form for taxes, did you create it on your computer?
no.
Did you and a couple of good friends of yours that are on the same page unify as a collective and create the contents therein?
No.
Do you usually even know exactly what's in it or behind it?
No.
So do you know whether or not it's valid?
No.
You don't know what it is. So how can you attest to its validity? Anything that you put your name on next to this word or this word, you're saying the instrument is valid. And this is my attestation. My name is here. I put it here because I'm saying this 1040 form or this ticket or this lease or whatever it is valid. Can you make that attestation?
No.
Do you have enough information to do so?
No.
So, since you're not sure, what should you do?
Not sorry.
UCC got 1207.
Conditionally sign it. How do you conditionally sign?
All rights reserved.
All rights reserved, all defenses reserved, all reservations reserved, all reservations, all rights and reservations, all rights and defenses reserved.
That's how you sign it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's mine. But see, now in California, they have a different game going on. When I first got when I first got wind of this information, I got into it with some sheriff deputies once, and they were giving me a ticket and I was going to sign it, this whole all rights and defenses or whatever. And the sheriff snatched the pen as I was writing this part. See, because a lot of people make the mistake of writing their name first, and then when they start going to write the rest, the pen gets snatched. So all you have is your name, attesting to the validity of the instrument. So I got hip, and I started writing, and I got hip from Dr. Hannibal, Brother Taj's progeny. Two very powerful brothers, two very awesome brothers. Into putting the information first, reserve the rights first. That way, if they snatch the pen,
There's no signature.
that's all they got.
Right.
Yes.
And he snatched the pen and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, I'm really my signature. He said, that's not your signature. I said, you don't know me. How do you know what my signature is? That is my signature. That's how I sign everything. That's how I sign credit cards, my personal checks, bank statements, anything that I sign. That's how I sign it. And then he got me. He looked at my California ID card and he said, well, that's not how you signed it here. Wham. I was done. I didn't know then. So when I went and got a renewal on my instrument called a California ID card, I signed it, all rights and defenses reserved, and then I wrapped my signature into it, enough that they could read it, but also enough that if they went to try to white it out, they would mess up the whole signature. Because I know people that have put the reservation and then put their name below it, and when the ID came back, the name was there and the reservation was just gone. Yes. That's what they did. So,
All rights and defenses reserved.
well, it's up to you. You can say under duress, under protest. That's what you see. A lot of people put UCC 1-207 and 1-305 or whatever it is. But that's not what the UCC is telling you to do. Because at any point, they can change the code. What they're saying in the code is when you sign an agreement that you should reserve your rights at the time you enter the agreement, and if you fail to do so, you have waived your rights. That's what they're saying. So, you can, all rights and defenses reserved, all rights reserved under protest, under threat, duress, and coercion, under duress, under coercion, whatever you want to write.
Question, so is it necessary to write it out, no abbreviations? Because that's what I used to do.
You better not abbreviate. What is it about English? It's equivocal. That means it could go two ways. If you don't put on there what you want it to say, then they can interpret it any way they want to. Now, you may not want to, when I get through giving you the definition of right, you may not want to use the word rights.
All lefts.
Not all lefts. I like that. That would be good, but I don't think they would get it. It might be better to say all liberties reserved.
Yes.
All liberties is the most powerful thing you can ask for. When you go in court, I have my rights, I have my rights. They're laughing, going, yes, you do. But you don't want no rights.
Because that's something that they give to you. That's something that you don't actually have.
No, that's not it either. That's not it either. Rights is a problem. Big problem. But when you autograph, not sign, any instrument that you didn't create on your computer yourself, because you know what's attached to that because you came up with it, or you and your comrades came up with it, you have no idea what the attachments are, especially when you're dealing with the government, okay, or the corporations that pass themselves off as the government. How's that? So, what you want to do is you want to reserve your rights, and people will start flipping out. But this is where your backup will come from. For you to successfully pull this off, you have to start having that on your things. Meaning, I have a a United States passport, and this is the way it's signed. I have a California ID card, and this is the way it's signed. Now, if you go to the DMV in California now and try to do it, they'll say, oh, you can't sign it like that. The computer won't take it. I know a lot of people that they wouldn't let them sign it that way. Now, me, we'd have a problem, because I'm going to want to see a few supervisors, especially since I can whip out a card and show you that the computer did take it. Now, other people don't have that, but I do. So, if you don't have evidence, because I've had people that have tried to get me to change the way I sign my name, and I just tell them, so you're special? I have my so-called signature, which, what does it say in there under signature? Keep reading, and I'm going to tell you, don't read it to me, I'm going to tell you. A signature can be a bunch of newspaper. You can take a newspaper and cut a bunch of letters out and glue them down. You can use copies. You can take rocks and put a letter on each rock. Your signature is whatever you say it is. Nobody knows what your signature is but you. Didn't Prince change his name in some signature? Some symbol? Who has the authority to change your name but you, and who gave it to you? Who gave you your name? So when you go to court and they start saying, well, you didn't change your name legally, excuse me, my mother named me, and when I decided I wanted to change it, I went to my creator, which is your mother and or father, and I clarified with my creator that the changing of my name was acceptable. If it's acceptable to my creator, where do you fit in? So, if you want to get what they call benefits, which is be no fits, I call it be in fits, and privileges from the system, then do what you need to do to get what you want to get from them. But at the end of the day, when they want to adhere you to the contract, you can always fall back on your lack of competency to stand trial. Turn in the dictionary to competency to stand trial.
Illegal, the black.
We're in blacks now.
That's the ball part. Ball part.
Long run.
I'm just thinking, that we're in time for war here. Here you go. I mean, hey,
We understand.
some cities have sirens. I don't know. In California, you don't know what's going on half the time. Competency to stand trial. A person lacks competency to stand trial if he or she lacks capacity to understand the nature and object of the proceedings. If they lack the capacity to consult with counsel, and if they lack the capacity to assist in preparing his or her own defense. Most of the time, what they call consulting with counsel is not really consulting with counsel. It's usually you talking to somebody and them telling you, well, this is the deal, they're going to make you a deal, and this is right. You can't consult. Right. How do you plead? How do you want to plead? You don't know what... Do you have any idea what's going... Tell the truth. When you walk into court, do you understand the nature of the proceedings?
No.
Do you understand what in the world is going on there?
No.
Do you understand any law at all?
No.
Maybe a little. But if you do not have the capacity to understand the nature and object of the proceedings, you lack competency to stand trial. That's one out. Also, what is it they keep calling our people, who are the majority on the planet? What do they call it? Minorities.
Minor.
A minority, is a minor. The word is minor with a suffix on it that is removable. A minor is someone that lacks mental capacity. And you can ask the judge, my honor, is it true that my people are considered, don't you guys consider me a minority? If I'm a minority, then I'm a minor, and a minor has a minor's childlike mentality. I don't even have the mental capacity to understand the proceedings here. Now, you don't have to necessarily do it. Sometimes you want to go in there and argue, and sometimes you don't. It depends on what's going on. If you walked in, play. If you're behind bars, make the deal and get your ass out. Do whatever you need to do to get out of the situation. Do you understand? Because I recently went to court, and I didn't do anything. My sister was like, I noticed you didn't do any of that stuff. What you keep talking about? I'm like, man, I was trying to go home. I wanted to go home. I'll tell them whatever they want to hear to let me out. Now, when I walk in there of my own volition, I go in there trying all kind of stuff that sometimes gets me locked up. But you still try it when you walked in and you can walk out. But if you're in cuffs and you're in their jumpsuits, or I don't know how they do it here, whatever they want to hear, so I can go home today, unless you have time. Some people have time. There are a lot of people that deliberately challenge the system to see how far it'll go. And they have time, they'll sit in the system, sit in the jail, and just play the wait and see game. Who's going to break first? And I know people that have done it, and in 30 days, they're out. Don't know what happened to the case, they're just out because of statute of limitations or whatever the situation is. But it depends on you. You know what your commitments are. If you have to go to work or you have little children at home that need your attention or whatever the situation is, do what works for you. Do not listen to the Moors, the Nationals, what do you call these people, the Libertarians, or whoever these people are. Do what you need to do for your situation. Too many people are trying to become liberated and free, and they listen to other people that tell them things like, well, man, you need to get rid of your Social Security number. And, I don't know, you're working for the beast, you need to quit your job. You'd be amazed at how many people actually listen to these nuts that tell them this stuff. If you have a mortgage, a car note, a commitment, children, family, a 501k, life insurance policy for your offspring and your mate, you have health insurance and things like that, you can't sit up in jail where you can't call out collect and tell your boss, well, not collect, you don't want to call your employer collect from jail. And in California, if you call someone else and try to get them to put you on three-way, the call gets cut off. Right. So you can't even reach out and touch your employer and say, look, I'm sick, I ain't coming in. I'll be out for a week, I'm going to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? You can't even play the game. But if you're sitting up in jail without a call, notification, your employer will consider you absent without notification, absent without leave, or whatever it is they call it when you don't report or notify them, and they'll release you from duty from failure to report. So if you listen to other people that will tell you things that will destroy your life, then you're still a fish, and you're too nice. If you want to deal with Rome, you have a couple of options. You can stay all in Rome and know what you're dealing with and just do the best you can. Or, if you got it like that, you're self-employed, you have your own income, you have your own way of doing things, you can jump all the way out of Rome and go, kiss my butt, I'm gone. And do your thing. Or, you can straddle the fence. Well, I'm in Rome now. Okay, I'm out. I'm in. I'm out. I need food stamps. I'm in. I'm out. I need some whatever. I'm in. I'm out. I need Section 8. I'm in. I can't get my house. I'm out. Do what you need to do to get what you need to get from the beast that's sitting on your land. God, they're doing this thing. They're making all this money, generating all this income on your land, and they're not paying you any rent. I feel like my people should get free rent, free food stamps, Section 8, free clothes, free training, everything that we should get, everything you want to get. If you look like me, you should get for free, because these Europeans came from Europe and they're living here on our land paying no rent.
They're charging us.
Exactly. So you're at home, you're the government de jure, and wait, did we just look up whatever? What did I just tell you guys to turn to a minute ago? Minority. Competency to stand trial. No, I didn't say turn to minority. Did I say turn to minority? No, I was just telling you what a minority is. Turn to a government de jure. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Let me write it down. No, you're not saying that you're mentally, make sure, that's a good question. Make sure you're real clear with these Europeans about what you're claiming. You don't want them to try to cart you off in some straitjacket for mental evaluation and psychotropic drugs. What you're saying is, I don't understand the nature of these proceedings. I'm not a law student. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a counselor. I'm not an attorney. I have no training in what's going on here. Now, if you give me an opportunity to study the nature of the charges so I can understand the proceedings, then I can keep up, and then I can assist the counsel with my defense. But I can't defend myself because I don't comprehend what I'm defending myself against. Because what you can ask them is this a de facto court? Because you are part of the government de jure. Huh? You don't have to say anything to them. You can just go in there knowing what you're dealing with, just being clear on this stuff and knowing what game is being played. And just float through it the best way you can until you get stronger in the whole concept. And you can either fight or not. I'm not saying go into court and say anything. because if you do it and it doesn't work, you're going to be mad at me. Okay? Government de jure. And remember, in the Matrix, the chick that had the rabbit here, her name was de jure. Everything about the Matrix was telling you something about your story. And you guys know the sister that wrote that was a sister, and every character in that show was supposed to be melanated.
Right.
Yeah. What was her name? Miss Stewart. Yeah. Sophia Stewart is the sister that wrote the Matrix and the Terminator. All right. So is anybody at government de jure?
Yes.
Oh, you have the book. I'm sorry.
A government of right, the true and lawful government, a government established according to the Constitution of the nation, and lawfully entitled to recognition and supremacy and administration of the nation, but which is actually cut off from power or control.
That's you. You guys are the government de jure. You're cut off from your power by people that are government de facto. Turn to government de facto. Do I need to write that down?
No, right above.
All these guys knew that anyway.
No, in the book.
Well, that's good that everybody knew this, so we can keep on going. I can pass this. I can skip this part.
I bet you didn't want to admit that tomorrow.
But it's okay to not comprehend. You know? That doesn't mean that you're, as the brother was saying, not smart. It means you lack knowledge. See, because when you go to court and they say things like, well, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Ignorance of the law is an excuse. But it's not an excuse. You're not saying that you are ignoring the law, which is what ignorance means. Ignorance means to ignore. That means you know and you just chose to ignore it. So ignorance of the law is no excuse. But I'm not ignoring the law. I don't have ignorance of the law. I lack knowledge in reference to the law. I don't know what's going on here. And you make sure you make that clear. Ignorance means to ignore. That means you know, and you say, oh, well, whatever, I don't care. Lacking knowledge is something totally different. If you lack knowledge, then you lack the capacity to understand the nature of the proceedings. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a word game. It's a play on the words.
That's when they try to give you counsel, turn you over.
Well, see, that's a problem. Because if you lack if they give you counsel, that's fine. But if you're not allowed to assist in your defense, which counsel won't let you do, and how much assisting can you do from behind bars? You can't reach your witnesses. They're not going to spend a dime trying to find any of them. That all looks good on Perry Mason, but in real life, you on your own.
Exactly.
They have the next case and the next file to deal with. If you can give them the names and phone numbers of your witnesses, they'll try to make a phone call. And if somebody answers, they'll try to get them to come to court. And maybe they'll ask them what's their address so they can send them a subpoena. And if the person goes, hell, I'm not giving you my address, oh, they'll, well, your witnesses, well, we couldn't do nothing with it. So then you're stuck. Which means what? You cannot assist. Yes.
Send a subpoena. What does that mean?
Who even sees those? Do they send those?
Yeah, to appear in court for jury duty.
Because they don't do those in California. See, Chicago's totally different. When they subpoena you to go to court, you're supposed to go. That's a part of the due process.
I hate to say I work for Cook County.
Okay.
But you're right. That's exactly what in court. I'm a sergeant in the court, not in the court, so I got a friend in the court, but I'm in the jail part. So I see both parts of it every day.
Okay.
And the problem with it is we call it Crook County. It's more money making. That's it.
That's all of them.
It's a corporation.
That's all of them. That's all of them. Now, what did I just have you guys turn to? Somebody read that to me. Because I'm getting out of order.
De facto. In fact, indeed, actually. This phrase...
I'm sorry, my bad. Is that government de facto or de facto? Because I wanted you to turn to government de facto.
Government de facto.
Yeah.
Government of fact. A government actually exercises power and control in the state, as opposed to the true and lawful government.
That's where we are. That's what we're dealing with. So when you're dealing with a government de facto, 90% of the time you're a part of the government de jure, or the people de jure. And you're walking into a de facto court. And these people, now turn to de facto court. Somebody read that out loud.
It says, he has a de facto court, see court, but it has de facto government, it just reverses government de facto.
Okay, nobody sees that?
See court.
All right, okay, fine. Let me find it here. Let me read it to you. Because you can go to see court, but you may or may not be able to find it. All right.
Its space which is uncovered, but which may be.
Say that again.
A space which is uncovered, but which may be partly or wholly enclosed by buildings or walls.
Now, is that de facto court?
It says court.
It just says,
Okay, hold on. Let me put these on so I can see what I'm dealing with here. Yeah, I don't know why everybody's having such a hard time. Thank you. Where did you find it so they can find it?
Page 426.
On the court.
It's on the court.
Read that for me.
Under general. De facto court. 1. Established, organized, and exercising its judicial functions under authority of a statute apparently valid, though such statutes may be in fact unconstitutional and may be afterwards so adjudged. Or a court established and acting under the authority of a de facto government.
That's everything in the United States of America.
Exactly. So, when you walk in here and you are of the sovereign people who have been displaced from their positions of power, the government de jure that is displaced by a government de facto, and you walk into a de facto court that appears on its face to be valid, but is most likely unconstitutional, then you do lack the capacity to stand trial. That's not saying you lack mental capacity, other than the fact that you lack mental capacity in law. There's nothing wrong with your mind. Do you understand? If you're not cognizant, they will try that. And that's when you say, there's nothing wrong with my mind. I don't comprehend your laws.
That's right.
Do you understand?
But what we're saying is, even to that fact, that's where they're going to appoint you an attorney. Because they said if you don't understand the laws, they're going to automatically appoint you
They're
an
going to show
attorney.
you to hook you up.
Right, but if they appoint you an attorney, you still don't have the competency to stand trial because the attorney is not going to allow you to assist in your defense. In order for you to assist in your defense, you need to be able to run around. You need to be out of jail so you can run around and gather your evidence, gather your people. You need to do what you need to do to save yourself, because this person is not your friend. They're a friend of the court. They work for the court. They're strangers. They're part of the de facto government. They're part of the de facto court. They're not really there to try to free you. They don't work for you.
That's right.
The only person that can free you is yourself, and in order to do that, they need to let you assist in your defense.
But how are you gonna accomplish that?
We have to ask OJ.
That's clarity. See, I'm trying to get you clear. I'm giving you outs. Now, we just got stuck on this one out. What was the out I gave you guys before that?
Minority and lack of
The lack of mental capacity. What are some of the outs? Now, this is how you can, again, you don't have to do it. What you need to do today is just get clear in the concept.
No, I understand.
If you want specifics, ask him how to do it.
No, I understand the concept, but the whole concept of being a minority, they assuming you a minority. That's why they're giving you a lawyer. So you can turn yourself over. So he will turn you over
If
to the
you
judge.
have enough clarity to not claim these outs, then don't.
Let's go through it.
Then don't. There are different people that know different things at different levels in this class. Some people are where you are and they got it down packed to a science. They can walk out of a court like this brother with no problem.
No, I mean, I'm scared of that.
Okay, well, and other people, they're still just trying to get clear on the basic word comprehension. So if you let me get through some of these various outs and options, then as you get clearer on the picture, you can start working on this thing. But that's not to say that you should do this one or do this one or do... I don't know what you should do. All I can do is get you clear in the concepts. Then when you clear the concepts, when people like this brother or Taj or whoever else is coming start giving you data, then some of the stuff can start firing back and forth between your left and right hemisphere instead of being one side only. You get it? Yes. Okay. Some of the other outs. Contracts. You sign the contract and you say that the contract is valid. When you sign a contract, if all of the conditions are not disclosed at the time of signing, is it valid?
No.
Now, is it void?
Yes.
No. It's voidable. If you don't mention it, then it's assumed and presumed that you got it. You get it. So if it's a voidable instrument, then you can start. Now again, we're dealing with a de facto bunch of criminals that came from somewhere else that nobody wanted. Just because you bring up the truth doesn't mean they're going to hear it and acknowledge it anyway. Depends on the judge that day, who you get and how they feel. And how glad they are to see somebody that finally gets it. They gave them a little bit of a challenge. Some of them are like, oh, somebody has a clue, let them go, next. And others are like, oh, so you think you know the game? You think you want to play with me? I've been sitting up here 30 years, and you're going to try to come and tell me, I know we took your land, but I don't have to acknowledge you. It depends on who you get that day. The judge's job really is to delineate those that are fish from those that are foul. And when you're a foul, it's the judge's responsibility, especially if he's a high-level enough Mason, to get you out of there so you don't start waking up other fish.
There you go.
And people that are foul, if they know you're a foul and you're coming in there, they'll try to put you in a courtroom all by your little self. And it just dawned on me, that's why they made me wait till the last thing that day.
That's right.
Because they know I'm foul, that's why they cleared everybody else out. It was almost 10 minutes before they closed, before they called me out of the damn cell. But all I want to do is go home, so I didn't even try to play no game. They were ready for game, and I gave them none. I guess they were like, okay, she was easy. I thought she gave everybody else a problem. Because I have given them problems.
Yes.
You know, so they had it written down. Okay, this was a problem. She thinks she knows something. So when they said, okay, make her wait, make her wait, make her wait, make her wait. And all day they kept telling him, well, she's next case, next case, next case. And they made me wait and wait and wait. And I was the very last thing on the calendar. Because they didn't want anybody to see anything that I might possibly bring up and do or say. Okay? Sometimes I give them problems, sometimes just let me go home. Yeah, I'm guilty, yep, not guilty, no contest, whatever, take the probation, I gotta go. Got things to do. That was one of those days. So, let me try to come up with an example of something that's voidable. Example. Who was that was saying something about when you get stopped by police, it's under duress that you check your tickets here?
Did they take your license?
And I don't know about here, but in California it's like this. You go to court, let's say you were given a citation or ticket for running a light or doing a boulevard stop at a stop sign, not stopping completely. When you so-called appear, which is really when you visit the courtroom and you walk in there, if the officer showed up, he usually gets to speak first in California. Well, I was sitting on the corner of such and such and such and so-and-so, and I saw the vehicle going northbound on so-and-so, and the driver didn't stop at the so-and-so, and they were going this speed or that speed, and they get to talk first. And my people always get to go next, and this is where we mess up. When it's our turn to talk, what do we start saying? Well, no, Your Honor, and I was in my vehicle, and I was traveling such and such a distance, and I did stop at so-and-so, and I was only going such and such speed. They start arguing the officer's argument. Wrong argument.
Wrong argument.
What they should say is, well, my honor, I was traveling along, minding my own affairs, and all of a sudden, these emergency lights and sirens came on. My heart started racing. I got stressed out. I went into a state of panic, and then I realized the emergency was about me. So I'm already scared, so I pull over. I pull over, this man comes up with this gun out. Now, a lot of times the officers will have the gun drawn down on you. Sometimes they don't have it drawn, they just have it out where you can see it, and maybe they'll have their hand on it.
Right.
This officer had this gun. My heart started racing even further because this man has the capacity to kill me and take my life. He gave me something to sign. I just signed. This man had on a uniform. He had a gun. He had the capacity to kill me. I was out of fear. I signed anything he gave me. I just wanted this man to get away from me. Because he was in a position to take my life, take my liberty, or my property. All of which I'm supposed to be guaranteed the liberty to have. But all I wanted to do was live that day and get on my way. And because I was under such fear-induced stress and duress, this man used coercive, never used the word coercion, coercive tactics, noise, lights, fear, armed. This man has a gun.
Trauma.
Any contract, and this is what you're saying to the judge, any contract signed under those conditions is voidable. And I'd like to exercise the option to void it because I was terrified out of my mind. And that's where you should be trying to come in. You understand? Because if this man had no gun, no badge, would you even stop?
Right.
And if you did, would you give him the time of day? You look at him and he'd be like, I need you to sign it. He'd be like, yeah, right. See you later. Bye. And you go on. I'm running late for a party. I got things to do. You're going about your business. The only reason you stop and deal with them is because they use coercive tactics.
Yes.
Like lights, sirens, weapons, fear of the loss of your life. At the very least, you can lose your health if they beat your brains out with a couple of billy clubs or break your wrist with the handcuffs or something. You have the fear of losing your property, which is your mobilia or automobile if they impound it. And you know, the worst scenario is that you lose your life. If you're lucky, you'll lose your car and you'll sit up in jail, which means you've lost your liberty. Either way, these people are imposing on you, and out of fear and duress, under threat, with the coercive tactics, you just did whatever this man told you to do because he had a gun. And under contract law, any contract that is entered into under those conditions is voidable. It's not void. If you never say anything, it just keeps going. So your argument is not, well, I did stop. Your argument is this man scared the hell out of me. And I'd like to exercise the right to make this a voidable agreement that I signed because I never would have signed it under any other condition. You comprehend? This is an out. I'm not saying do any of it. I just want you to be clear. When it's going on, at least you can see what's going on. Doesn't mean you have to do anything I say. Just be aware of what's happening. Okay? Because you may not all add up at now, but as you keep coming to Omari's classes over time, one day you'll be able to stand up with your chest out and go in there and go, look, Judge, I want to go home. And you'll be able to walk yourself and talk yourself out of there. You may not be there yet because like the brother said, I'm scared to death. That's where most of us are. What's the matter, man? Why are you laughing? What's wrong?
Hey, you ain't the only one.
No, that's most
you
people.
Be scared because you got to do something with that adrenaline. But the second time, you're a little less scared.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. They use fear-based tactics.
That's all it is.
Fear-based tactics. And that's where you get messed up. You understand? Now, did we cover government de facto, government de jure, de facto court?
Yeah.
I got to show you guys something else. So don't get sleepy. Don't start yawning. Look up. How many people here have ever gone into a church and performed the ceremonial ritual of a wedding and gotten married? Anybody here ever got married in a church by a preacher? Ever? Only a handful. Anybody here at this time entertaining the thought of getting married in a church? Turn to matrimony. See, this is not really a lecture. This is clarity concept. Tomorrow's going to be a lecture. See, right now I'm just giving you concepts to get you clear. Tomorrow I'm going to give you a lecture to give you a little more of the history. See, right now I'm just showing you how to use tools. You like tools? Yeah, see, because I don't live here. You need to be able to do this without me, without Amari. Matrimony. Now, based on what you know about words, what is this? Mother's money.
Money. That's why she gets half, Eddie.
Mama's money. In our society, all the wealth and the land was with the women.
With the women.
See, today, under patriarchy, everything is with the men, and they want to, I don't know what they're doing. But it always was and is about taking what the woman has from her. Especially with Europeans. They know the ancient way. That's what they had to do to get in. They had to come into our communities, get to our women, and a lot of our brothers gave the women over. Almost sold them to these dudes. Have the babies, and it's like, now I'm pale, I'm black, really black, peached up, bleached up. And I have an heir now to the land, so I'm entitled to be here now. Somebody read to me what it says under matrimony.
Marriage. In the sense of the relation or status, not of the ceremony. One more time?
Yeah, one more time.
Marriage, quote, Q point dot V point, or dot, okay, unquote. In the sense of the relation or status, not of the ceremony.
Status.
All right. Let me read you what mine says about, I don't know what you're looking at, because you have my book.
Right.
This is what I found out about matrimony. And I don't know why it's not where you're reading. But matrimony, maybe it's matrimonium.
That's what it is.
Okay, thank you. Look there. Matrimony and matrimonium are the same. Okay, hold on. Too many people reading, so I'm going to read it. Y'all follow. How's that? Matrimonium. It's matrimonium. Where'd this T come from? That's a plus. He did that out there. He messed me up. I'm like, ooh, I know I spell better than that. Matrimonium. M-A-T-R-I-M-O-N-I-U-M.
That's Latin.
Mama's money. Matrimonium is a legal marriage contracted in strict accordance with the forms of the older Roman law. It's the effect of such marriage is to bring the wife into the manus. And manus, I'm going to give you the definition so you don't have to look it up. But you might want to look it up when you get a chance. Manus means power, control, authority, the right to use physical coercion, and was used synonymously with the word potestas, which means domination, the power of the father over his children. So it's to bring the wife into a condition where she is a child under the authority and power of her husband, where he has the right to use physical force, or whatever maybe we need to go back and look the words up, because you're going, because you need to see it. Turn to manus, M-A-N-U-S, because you need to see it, obviously. It's not enough to hear me say it. M-A-N-U-S.
In Black's Dictionary?
In the Black's Law Dictionary.
Paul's church actually passed a law at one time that they had to stop beating the women with rods and use wooden slats. They were killing too many.
Okay? That's all it says, is a hand? Oh, okay, I got to move on. Read. Now remember, matrimony is the effect of bringing the wife into the manus. Now tell us what it says in manus.
In the civil law, this word signified power, control, authority, the right of physical coercion, and was often used as synonymous with
potestas.
It says civil law.
In Old English law, it signified an oath or the person taking an oath. A compurgator. Compurgator.
Okay. Now, you see where it said the word manus is synonymous with potestas? Go look up potestas. P-O-T-E-S-T-A-S. Now it started out, I don't want to say this because I'm going to insult a bunch of people, males and females.
Get it going.
Come on.
Protesters, did you guys find it?
Yes.
Somebody read it, because I read it to you, but I want you to see it. I want you to see it, because it'll be burned and etched into your brain forever.
In the civil law, power, authority, domination, empire, imperium, or the jurisdiction of magistrates, the power of the father over his children.
Now this is the condition they were trying to bring the wife into.
The power of masters over their slaves.
And you guys have seen quite a few of them Moorish shows where the men are like, this is my wife, she's my slave, she knows what I said to. I own her, it's my child. If they went through the ceremony of matrimony and matrimonium, then they brought the wife into manus and potestas. They made her a child, made him the parent, gave him the legal civil right to beat her brains out.
Yes, they did.
And unfortunate, yes.
And to consider her as the land in the marriage, where the state gets the children.
And that's truly unfortunate. Now, it also says under matrimonium that marriage in the sense of the status or relation, not the ceremony. Okay? Under matrimonium, it's not about the wedding ceremony, it's the relationship that becomes the result of the ceremony that takes the wife out of being her own individual being and puts her under the power and submission of someone else and makes her nothing more than a freaking child. Okay? Now, I'm going to take you a little further.
Down the rabbit hole.
Do you remember the part of those of you that have been in weddings or been to a wedding, do you remember the part of the wedding where it says, I do thee wed, and this and that, and then it says, to have and to hold, something like that? Yeah. Turn to the phrase, to have and to hold. And I know I'm kind of all over the place, but see, my thing is when I'm showing you how to use these books, I'm going to show you with these things that'll blow your mind away so you'll know how important these books are. That's why I seem like I'm all over the place, because I got it. Some of the stuff I'm saying is shocking some people. They ain't shocking me. So I'll say something else that might shock you and not shock the other person. At some point, I'm going to say something that's going to get every individual's attention in here. Okay. To have and to hold.
Yeah.
To have and to hold. These words in conveyance showing the estate intended to be conveyed. The words to have denote the estate to be taken, while the words to hold signify that it is to be held of some superior lord. I.e., by that they mean by way of tenure.
Wow.
Now I looked up tenure, and you can look it up, but what it says in tenure is a right or mode of holding or occupying. This is one of the ways that the Europeans, the real black people, have the right to be here. They did it through matrimonium.
That's Pocahontas.
And that was Pocahontas, who became Rebecca, the sorrow of her people.
Yep.
And that girl was only like 12 or 13 years old, but all their cartoon Disney movies and every other movie show her as this sexy young thing, like she's a young lady. She was only 12 or 13. Pocahontas was somebody for real, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you do any research about her, you'll find out that she was only 12 or 13 years old. And the guy raped her, and for whatever reason, she still wound up okay with him. And then took her to Europe, had a child by her, and killed her over there. And came back with the child and started taking stuff. Been taking ever since. How many of you guys have heard about this story?
This is matrimonial
Be
right.
like, what?
I do going to make a movie, I believe.
Yeah, the new
There are
one.
movies and cartoons about
Yeah.
Pocahontas.
Get Walt Disney.
Why did you make the difference between a
And the new
marriage
world.
actually in church or one that's like before the?
Why did I make a difference? What do
No,
you
I mean, could you
Well,
say
it's
if you
simple,
had been, you know, to a marriage recently in a church?
Because if you've been to one in the church, you've seen or heard these words. Okay? Because a lot of people that get married on their own, they make up their own vows, they do their own thing, and they're not even using any of this stuff. But if you go to a Christian church wedding ceremony with a Christian preacher, reverend minister, you're going to hear this phraseology. And not only that, when you're standing there and you're to having and to hold, and your mate is standing there and they're to having and to hold, each of you individually is doing the habendum and the tenendum, or passing the property through the church to the Pope.
That's right.
Well, if you look at matrimonium, wait. If you go back to have and to hold, it'll say in there, in the last part, it'll say the former clause, and the latter is called the tenendum. So the part about to have that denotes the estate to be taken, that's the habendum. The latter part about to hold, which shows signifies that it is to be held of some superior lord, the Pope, is the tenendum. So when you're standing in the church, you think that you're talking to your spouse, and really you're conveying your property through the church, to the church. And you said to the state, but the state is nothing more than an agent of the church. Because the state is the penal colony, which used to be called colonies, and today they're called states. The word state is the new word for the old word colony. Okay? So, and if you need to see what that means, turn to the word colony in the dictionary. Is everybody okay? Sure your heads are not hurting?
We real okay.
Like I said, I don't have all the answers. I can just get you clear. I can give you some clarity. So now when brothers come in and say stuff like, oh, you didn't marry your mate, you married the church. And you married the state. Now you kind of get it. Now you see how you gave them the right to take your children and this and that because of the words to have and to hold. Just that phrase right there. That phrase, past property. And you never knew that something as simple as to have and to hold had that much clout.
So you use property all the time, and so you went to, because it's saying you on your own was saying you are property before you even get married.
Well, your property, because at some point up your genealogical chain, you were passed.
Well, isn't that what happened when your mom, as we came down
Started with Rebecca,
Canal?
Pocahontas. And your parents probably did the to have and to hold thing, and if not them, their parents, or at some point you did the to have and to hold thing and passed because I passed my child, I didn't know any better. So why they were able to take him and lock him up, and that's what woke me up, which is, if you get my book, you'll find that out in my book.
Which one?
What, Piercing the Fog, it's back there. That's, okay. Well, see, and they kept telling me I didn't bring it up, but I brought too much stuff.
Everything is gone.
She warned me that everything would be gone, and I told her that I'm bringing too much stuff.
How can we get the book?
He's got some order forms back there. She's got some order forms. If they run out of order forms, which they may have, we can make copies of the order forms. Yeah, we'll make some more copies and bring the order forms in. You order it, you pay in advance, and I'll ship the stuff back. But allow me 4 to 6 weeks delivery, because I'm not going to California right away. From here, I'm going to another state to hang out for a week or two with my son. and then I'll get home and take care of it.
Yes.
So don't be in 3 days calling the sister, hey, I heard your sister, and then a week, you know, stressing her out, I ain't got my stuff and I gave her my money. Are you sure she's cool? Because I won't even be home to do anything for about 2 weeks. So give me 4 to 6 weeks delivery. Is that okay? All right. But yeah, in my book, it'll tell you what woke me up. What woke me up is LAPD framing my son. And because I did the to have and to hold thing, I passed him right along in the habendum and the tenendum. I didn't know. All right. I know now, but it's too late. So the best thing I can do now is try to clarify for this little brother so he doesn't do it, and that little brother so he doesn't do it. Yes.
Does it still clarify it after your divorce?
The property is passed. Look, you gave me $1,000. You know, I'm gone, and you think I'm gonna give it back?